Hey everyone, Evan here. Welcome to episode 261 of the Sports Ballers podcast. Hopefully, Eric figured out what an in season tournament is because there's some drama we have to discuss regarding it. Another team is leaving the Bay Area for the desert. It's conference championship week in college football, and we've got 2 weeks of NFL games to recap before picking another slate of games. Let's go. Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Sports Ballers podcast. I'm Evan Ash, joined as always by Corey Puffett and Eric Meyer. How are y'all doing today?
Doing all right.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty well, I guess,
Alrighty. Sounds good. I guess we'll start in the NBA because my notes aren't loading and I can't see anything. So, what is the deal with the end season tournament and the drama? Is it Draymond Green again or still?
No, this
No.
one is not Draymond
This
Green.
is about the Celtics and the Knicks.
Oh, jeez.
No, this actually doesn't have to do with the
Oh,
Celtics.
really?
I hate
This is a
both of
different
The
game.
Knicks.
Okay.
Maybe it does have to do with the Knicks. So, no, this doesn't have to do with the game between the two of them.
No, it has to do with the fact that the Knicks and the Celtics had a point differential issue for a tiebreaker.
I thought there was another team who was involved in that.
I don't know, man. You're asking me about the in-season tournament. We went over this a month ago. I don't know what this is.
Anyway, yes, it's the point differential being a factor in advancing from group play because point differential apparently is their tiebreaker if you have two teams who have the same record within their group during the stage play in order to get into the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And so you had situations where teams were running up scores on other teams where I'm forgetting what the matchup was, but one coach took all of his starters out of the game with 6 minutes left to play or 8 minutes left to play, and the other team just kept all their starters out there and they're trying to put their the pedal to the metal, run up the score, but they're also trying to be respectful. It's weird. What are we doing?
Well, at least it shows that the teams involved actually care about this thing. Right?
Yeah, they're paying attention.
They want to actually advance in the tournament. It's not just another regular season game because that's what we kind of thought is the teams are just going to treat it like any old game and they're not really going to get worked up over, do they advance or not. But the Celtics, Nate Duncan actually was waiting for this when the Celtics were playing. I think they were playing the Nets. I don't remember. But the Nets had a classic hack-a-shack type of guy that you just go up and foul because he's going to brick 2 free throws. But normally teams only employ that strategy when the game's competitive. When you're up 29, it's atypical for a team to really say, hey, let's do this right now. Well, the Celtics did it because they needed to close the gap on the Knicks in point differential because the Knicks I think were plus 10 on the Celtics at that point. So they're like, no, we got to keep playing this like it's a tight game because we need to add more points to the differential. I don't actually remember how it played out, but it was just humorous to watch because it's normally you're watching a regular season basketball game. It's a 29-point game. You're just trying to run out the clock and move on. But in this one, it's one of these teams is actually trying still. And it just kind of creates a weird situation because, obviously the team getting blown out isn't going anywhere in the tournament. So they're not inclined to try. But the other team is. And so normally when teams empty their benches, both teams do it. In this case, the winning team leaves the starters out there to run up the score. And it's just it's kind of awkward because this is typically when you see the scrubs come in, and now it's nah, not today, guys. You guys got to chill out until we get through December 7th or whatever, when that's the semifinal round, I guess. But yeah, I think it's actually kind of good, right? It adds a little wrinkle. It makes December basketball somewhat watchable, or late November basketball. It's having the effect that I think the league wanted it to have, which is just to create a little bit more interest in what's going on early season.
But not enough interest for you, who's a big NBA fan,
Yes.
to learn what the in-season tournament is.
No, I don't care.
I didn't know any of this was happening.
Yes, I don't care.
Oh, I think
It's
it's
certainly
pretty cool.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's pretty cool because it, like you said, adds a little bit of spice and some sizzle, but I was of the opinion that the NBA season should start on Christmas Day, like it did that one year.
The lockout
with the
year.
lockout.
Yeah.
Like if it started on Christmas and they played like 60 games or 64 games.
They played
whatever
66 games in that lockout year. I
Yeah,
thought that
and it
pretty
was
good.
just a track meet to
Yeah.
April. Like
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
But this in-season tournament, like, oh, that's interesting how one team's running up the score on whatever terrible team they were playing.
Yeah.
Was it the Wizards?
No, it wasn't the Wizards.
Oh,
The Wizards were not involved in this. They've been involved in quite a few blowouts, but not specifically this.
Okay.
Yeah. As Eric was saying, you know, it makes some of these in-season games watchable, which is the opposite of what Jordan Poole has been for the Wizards.
Why'd you have to go there? Like, why did he have to catch a stray? You know?
Doesn't he suck?
Well, yeah, he sucks. He's really bad.
Well, then
These highlights that keep coming across my Instagram feed
Highlights.
keep coming to call them
Shacked in a
highlights is like the antithesis of what they are. These are absolute
Lowlights.
lowlights. These
Yeah.
are the lowest of lights.
there are no lights.
It is pitch
don't wanna see
black in
that at
every
all.
single one of these videos because, as Eric put it the other day, the dude has a negative IQ. He has a negative basketball IQ.
No, just a negative IQ in general.
That
I'm
might
not
be
gonna.
true as well, but I'm not going to make assumptions about anything other than what I'm seeing on the tape, which is him allegedly playing basketball.
Well, I saw him on the tape not playing basketball. He shoved Draymond Green and wasn't ready to get hit after that. So that kind of tells you he ain't got the smarts in terms of streets either.
True.
Come on, like what did you think was gonna happen when you shoved Draymond Green? You didn't think he was gonna punch you in the head?
Right. Like when Tyler Hansbrough got in a little mix-up that one time, and he, turns around to start yelling at the guy, and he sees it's Ron Artest, and he's like, well, you know what?
Maybe
that big a deal.
maybe not. Maybe I'll let this one go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Jordan Poole sucks. A guy that I follow on Twitter, Dragonfly Jones, who's quite a basketball fan among other things. He's a very entertaining follow. He started creating a thread of Jordan Poole lowlights, and we're only a month and change into the season, and it's already
the reel
lengthy.
is probably like 24 minutes long at
It's-
least by now.
Scroll way
He's
down.
got probably at least 10 tweets already with little video clips.
no.
It's going to be just a fantastic piece of art by the time we get to April. I'm going to love watching it, playing it back. Remember when Poole did that? Yeah, I remember all of these things because I actually watched this team. And it's just a tragedy.
Where's Andre Blatch and Swaggy P and the other guy? Where are they when you need them?
JaVale McGee.
JaVale McGee.
JaVale McGee's still in the
Shaq to
league.
fool.
Yeah.
Swaggy P, I think he's out of the league. And Andre Blatch been out of the league. So,
Before we move off the NBA, Alex Mayo is listening, and he wants to know if you even know the answer to this, Eric. What exactly is the incentive of the in-season tournament?
You get a little weekend in Vegas, and you get some money if you
A
win.
weekend in Vegas.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The final is played in Las Vegas.
Which means you get to spend a weekend in Vegas.
But the losing team gets that too.
Right, but so that inclines you to get there.
But you also have to have made it to that point. So the finalists, those who make it to the in-season tournament championship, who get to play that all-important 83rd game.
You can.
Everybody loved the 163rd game. Nobody cares about the 83rd game.
I think that there's some. It cannot be or should not be understated the fact that you could win $500,000, right? Like that's not nothing, even
Each member
for
of the winning team.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
maybe
there needs to be
LeBron
some
James
cash.
doesn't care about that, but the guy on the minimum deal, that's a third of his pay, and it's just straight cash, homie. And I'm in Las Vegas. You can have a good old time for
lose
a
all of it.
$500,000.
You
in
could
your pocket.
lose all of it, or you could turn it into $20 million.
Yeah.
Or just
give it all
lose
back.
all of it having fun. Like, who cares? You don't even have to go gambling. You can buy some cocaine. I don't know. Figure something out. Like, you can have a good time with $500,000 in cash in your pocket in Las Vegas.
Hopefully, the drug dealer at the liquor store is a good guy. Not a bad
Thank
guy.
you.
I'm sure my
you.
mother is very happy
Great
that we
reference
have returned from our break as she listens to this. She listens to us every week.
Oh,
Okay, well, great.
Good.
But I'm just telling it how it is. Like, I'm
is
not.
how it is.
I'm not
Tell
like,
it how it is on this show.
I might go to Vegas in a couple weeks. I'm not going to spend $500,000 on cocaine because I don't have $500,000 to spend on cocaine. Might spend a
Not
couple
that you
grand.
don't
That
want
makes it sound
cocaine?
like if you had $500,000, you might spend it on cocaine.
No, I'm just going to spend all my money on cocaine. It's just
okay.
it's just not quite a $500,000. So, we should be okay.
This is going on the internet forever, by the way.
We'll be okay. Teflon Don
Welcome
here.
to the Sports Ballers Podcast.
Got
folks.
nothing on me. I'll be all right.
It's a family-friendly show.
With cocaine, what's the problem? They used to make Coca-Cola with that stuff, man. It's like, come on.
Is that actually true? I feel like that's just an internet myth.
I had heard that as well.
Yes,
That it's a
everybody's
myth?
heard that. That doesn't make it true.
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna repeat it because it sounds good.
It does.
I went to college across the street from the Coca-Cola headquarters.
It's true. He
So,
did.
I'd heard that, and I'm like, well, that's got to be true.
I hear you can go there and get original Coca-Cola. Does it mean there's cocaine in it?
I
Hope
don't
so.
know. I've never
We
been
should have
there.
gone. We were down there a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Which
busy
sport were
doing
we
squats.
talking about, by the way?
On to baseball. The Oakland A's move to Las Vegas has been approved by the owners or something. So, this just generally sucks for, the city of Oakland and the fans, right? Because, this is the third time the A's have moved now.
It's the second time that an Oakland team has moved to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
In
in
the
the
last
last
5
5
couple
years.
of years, yeah.
The Oakland Not-So-Athletics joined the Oakland Raiders and moving to the desert.
Yeah, it just sucks because the city of Oakland, they have enough issues, other than building a new stadium for the billionaire who's super cheap. So
I did enjoy how this week a story came out about a group of people in the Oakland area after the owners approved the A's move to Vegas, decided they would start a new baseball team that will play in the Independent Pioneer League, and they're going to be called the Oakland Ballers, but they're going to go by the Oakland Bees for short.
oh, okay, not even bring back the Boston Bees, from way back.
I enjoy it.
I enjoy it too, right? If we can have
Why not?
we can have Rocket City Trash Pandas, and El Paso Sod Poodles or something, or no, El Paso's Chihuahuas. Sod Poodles are in Amarillo, Texas. But anyway, if we can have all these silly names, then Oakland Bees. Good for them.
I like the Richmond Flying Squirrels personally.
Oh, okay,
All right. Yeah, sure. Why not?
yeah. I'm more of a Trash Pandas guy, but they're
They've-
aside
they've
from their
pulled-
name and logo, their whole organization is a disaster because they're an Angels affiliate. So yeah,
Yikes.
yeah. Talked about the A's, the Orioles. Apparently, Felix Bautista won the Mariano Rivera Award as the best relief pitcher in the American League.
Not the Rolaids Relief Man Award.
This award used to be called the Rolaids Relief Man of the Year.
I only know that because the guys on my team in the show always used to win the Rolaids Relief Man of the Year back in 2006.
That's an A+ sponsorship. Even if they pull out of that sponsorship, you should just continue to call it that forever.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Jim Johnson won it 2012 and
It's like
13.
the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. It should still be called that. Why we had the PlayStation Fiesta? That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't even look up the sponsor of this year's Fiesta Bowl. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Is it Verbo still?
It might still
Verbo.
be Verbo.
Oh, jeez.
Verbo has one of them. I don't remember which one. It might still be the Fiesta
Because
Bowl.
it was Battle Frog for a year.
Yeah, I remember that.
I did not see that one.
I
This
remember
year.
Battle Frog.
We'll play a little bit of.
That's
bowl
when I
game,
learned
believe
what
it or not,
Battle
in a little
Frog
bit with
was.
Eric.
Bowl game, believe it or not. I like
With
that
me, of
name.
course.
Yeah.
I got to be the goofball that has to say which one of these is real, and
Yeah.
that MF is not real type of situation. That's not good for me.
Speaking of college football, let's move on to that.
Oh no.
The first thing on here is the Vegas Bowl, ? And eyeballs.
Yeah, I put that in there.
Yeah.
Because that might be where Maryland is heading.
I've talked about
Seems
what my
like
plans
it is
are.
probably going to be where Maryland is heading.
I told you what I'm going to do with all of my money, and that drew some consternation from you guys because apparently it's not family friendly to talk about doing blow. But
When was the last time that Maryland played in a bowl game that was not within a 300-mile radius of?
when Charlotte, because that's
Yeah,
not
last
within a
year.
300-mile radius.
Oh,
It's like 400
Charlotte's like
miles away.
400 plus miles. Yeah.
okay.
But would you want to try again and ask
no,
the question
No, I'm not going to try
in a way
again.
that's more?
I feel like they're always in the military bowl.
Well, they went to the Pinstripe Bowl 2 years ago, and so that's obviously in the Bronx.
That's inside of 300 miles.
Yeah, you know that. You
I was
just
just
did it. Yeah, but Charlotte is not. But yeah, this is probably the first time. They used to never go bowling, so you know, when was the last time? The Quick Lane Bowl was probably the last time that they were.
Yeah, cause, I remember them playing in the Orange Bowl. That was back in like 01 or 2.
2001.
The Orange
That
Bowl?
was over 20 years ago. Yeah.
Steve Spurrier.
Yeah,
The
against
Orange Bowl?
against Rex Grossman and the Gators. Yeah, that was a long time ago, dude.
2001.
Yeah, that was way back in the
Remember
day.
that? Okay.
Yeah, and beat Georgia Tech in the ACC championship game. Your boys before they
Really?
were your boys. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think there was an ACC championship game.
Or well, they beat Georgia Tech to clinch the ACC, which is what sent them to the Orange Bowl.
Okay.
I don't remember where my parents were for that game. I know that I was with my grandmother listening to it on the radio
I was watching it.
and being very depressed.
I was watching it at certain people's houses that I don't like, so that was
Oh,
frustrating.
dear.
We talk about them on the chat regularly.
Alrighty.
So
Speaking
anyway,
of people I don't like, the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday
you boys.
playing number 8 Alabama at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for the SEC championship.
Is this the first time that I'm going to be rooting for Alabama? Sure is.
It better be.
Why are you rooting for Alabama now versus
Yeah.
other years?
Why weren't you rooting for Alabama last year?
Why would I be rooting for Alabama ever?
Because
another
they're
time?
They were playing
Georgia.
Georgia.
Okay, but this is an opportunity where Alabama winning probably will not put them into the CFP.
Yes, it will.
They won the
They
SEC.
win the SEC. They're going to the college football playoff.
We're 8 right now.
So
Okay, they beat
They're-
number 1.
they're going to
puts
leapfrog.
them in-
They're going to leapfrog whoever loses the Pac-12 championship game. They're going to leapfrog Ohio State. They're going to
Well,
leapfrog.
whoever loses the Pac-12 championship game is already out because it's a 3-5.
Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
like if Oregon beats Washington,
Oregon's in, Washington's out.
Yeah.
okay, but Oregon's not going to go in ahead of Alabama. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
See, I
Alabama,
disagree.
as an 11-1 or 12-1 SEC champion, they are in. Period. They will bump Florida State out. They will do anything to put Alabama in there if they win that game.
I think
Alabama
it's
will
more-
not miss the playoffs.
I think it is more likely that Georgia would still be in than Alabama would get in.
No
That is
chance.
the most ridiculous
no
thing
chance.
ever.
No chance.
Right?
If Alabama
that's
beats
just
Georgia,
not what the truth is.
No,
right?
that's no
That is
chance.
not going to happen.
no chance.
Zero chance.
They will. The SEC champion will be in.
And they'll be the
Period.
1 seed
Well, maybe not the 1 seed, but they'll be in.
over Oregon or Washington. Well,
No, the 1 seed will be
Washington's
Michigan, probably.
Oh,
The only
jeez.
way that Alabama gets in is if they win and if Michigan loses to Iowa. That's
No
the
way.
that's the
No.
only
No.
way.
no.
That's the
No,
only way.
I mean, since we're tangenting on this right away, I'm just gonna pull up the rankings right now. So Georgia's 1 and Alabama's 8. And does the internet work in here?
I see you've got 12-9 Wizards over the Magic right now. So
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, the Magic are bad, so they could
Magic's defense is pretty good though. Like they're not bad. They're better than the Wizards.
All right, so we know Michigan's gonna roll Iowa.
Yeah.
So that's a lock.
Florida State's gonna roll Louisville.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
Florida State's they're a fraud 12-0. They lost their best player. That will be considered. They don't have their best player. They will get bumped out into Alabama. I guarantee it.
Yeah, an Alabama win.
They're in. Period.
Yeah,
They're absolutely in.
I don't see any other reason why they wouldn't.
The
be
only wrinkle would be Texas beat Alabama, so you couldn't really
Yes.
justify putting Alabama in over Texas. But then they would just move 2 teams out to make room for both of them.
Well, yeah. I mean,
They're not going
None
to
of
leave.
this matters because Alabama's not gonna win.
probably not.
Probably not.
Definitely not. Alabama's not good.
Did you watch on Saturday? It was spectacular.
It was.
Oh my god.
That was tremendous. Oh, what a game. That was great. Yeah.
Against Auburn.
So?
Who's also not that good.
It's the
Yes.
Iron Bowl, man. It's in Jordan Hare. These games are always crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like the game
They're
2
always
years
crazy.
ago.
It doesn't matter if either team is good. If one is really good and the other one is terrible, or both teams are terrible, it's always gonna be a good game.
Alabama is 11-1 in the best conference in college football. They are going to the playoff if they beat Georgia, and they don't. It's not like I don't think they're going to win because Georgia's better, but Alabama isn't going to get waffled. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like Alabama could compete in that game.
Like the Iron Bowl 2 years ago that went to 4 overtimes. Which was just incredible.
Wild and crazy.
Yeah. So that Iron Bowl, I mean, so this past Saturday, Alabama beat Auburn right at the end. I don't even remember what the final score was because it changed a couple times, actually. But anyway, it was 4th down and goal to go.
From the
31-yard line because of penalties and
Sacks.
a sack and a bad snap that just went zooming by the quarterback. So yeah, it's 4th down and goal from the 31, and Auburn decides to do a 3-man non-rush basically. So they're playing 11 on 8 now, and so Alabama's quarterback is just sort of dipping and running around and trying to find something. Of course, he's not getting rushed, and then he just heaves it to the left corner of the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown on 4th and goal from 3/4 of the field away, basically. Or no, a third of the field away. I get
Those are similar.
There's that Georgia Tech math right there.
I was thinking,
Those are
like
similar fractions.
Yeah.
Supposed engineering establishment there. You'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I always put 3/4 of a cup of popcorn into the microwave.
I don't eat popcorn, so I don't even know if
I'm
that's
supposed
a
to
lot.
put a third of a cup.
Okay, I'll take your word for it because
okay.
I'm not familiar.
I usually I do a half cup.
you measure your popcorn.
Yes.
It doesn't just come in the package.
I thought it just
I
came in the little bag
No, I
and it
don't
blew
do
up.
bags. I have like a what is like I don't know what they call it, like the Mr. Popper. It's a Mr. Popper adjacent that you put in the microwave.
Okay, whatever. Yeah,
Why do you need that?
Can we move on?
Yeah,
'Cause
so
it's better.
anyway, yeah, whoever wins the SEC
We're a
is
sports
going to the
podcast.
playoff, right? Like this, that's just not a thing unless there was that one time when Auburn was in the championship game against Georgia, and Auburn had 2 losses. Maybe a 2-loss SEC.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, but that didn't
I
happen.
still remember the year that Alabama played LSU in the SEC championship game, and then they played again.
No,
in
they
the-
didn't. They didn't
That's
play in
not
the
a
SEC
thing.
championship game. They couldn't. They were in the same
They're
division.
in the same division.
They played in the regular season, and LSU beat them like 9-6, and then Alabama was their opponent in the
National
championship game,
championship.
In the BCS game,
and Bama crushed them.
That's right. That's what happened.
the
That's so
SEC
weird.
championship
That was
game.
so weird.
Come on, man.
When we move to 12 teams next year for the college football playoff,
It's going to be a bigger disaster.
well, my question is, are they going to have like they have for the NCAA tournament in men's basketball and women's basketball? Are they going to have automatic bids like the winner of each conference
I don't think that's part
gets
of the
in,
plan.
and then they have it large bids?
I think
mean,
eventually they'll move
probably,
to that.
or at the very least, like the
Like,
the
de facto,
the
they
champion
probably
of
will.
of the 5 majors.
they'll probably
4
have
majors.
like there's not going to be a Pac-12 anymore.
True.
They're cooked.
Well, there'll be a Pac-4.
Back 2.
Pac-2. Yeah, they're not. The Pac-2 winner is not guaranteed
Yeah,
a spot.
because the other 2 are
It
in the
should be.
ACC now.
That'd be hilarious.
Nothing says Atlantic Coast Conference like Cal and Stanford.
All Coast Conference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
and any Coast Conference.
The Coast Conference.
Pick a coast.
Just
You're
the
in.
coast or something. You just need an Alaska school.
You
We get
play
3
in, like,
oceans.
American Coast Conference.
Yeah.
There you go.
Doesn't even need to be in America. Just some school in India and the Indian
Yeah.
Ocean. Just have them get in.
Australian school.
Yeah, sure.
California's far enough away.
Yeah,
Right.
why not?
So anyway,
We're a geography podcast.
I mean, we might as well be.
Evan's a geography B legend. So
Yes, I
watch
am.
out for him.
The Big Ten championship is number 2 Michigan versus future Curd Stomp E Iowa. I'm not going to watch
Number
this.
16 Iowa to you.
So,
Hawkeyes.
I was garbage.
Trash.
Okay,
They can't move
As-
the ball.
Michigan's going to get a field goal on their first drive, and the game will be over because Iowa can't score. They just can't do it. At least they didn't blow it this year. I think last year they lost to somebody terrible in Northwestern or Illinois or whoever.
Do you think? Go ahead.
Anyway, Eric is taking a station break.
Like Scott Hansen when he takes breaks.
Yeah, totally not taking a break. So anyway, yeah, I'm not going to watch that game. The ACC championship game, 14 Louisville versus 4 Florida State. That's at 8 o'clock on the ABC. It's in Charlotte. I am now podcasting by myself. I do not know what is happening. But anyway, I guess somebody's listening to me out there. Not even my 2 co-hosts. They just pieced out of here. Big 12.
I'm here.
Oh, Corey's back from something. The Big 12 is Oklahoma State and Texas. at Jerry World at noon Eastern. And on Friday
The
night,
Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship.
oh yes, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship.
Because they're special. None of the other conference championships have sponsors, but Big 12 has Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I didn't. I never thought of that. The Pac-12, the final Pac-12 game, like ever. It's a rematch of Oregon and Washington. It's in Las Vegas, Friday night at 8 o'clock, and that game is on ABC. So really the Pac-12 championship game is the first. I mean, a lot of times in these conference championship games, we don't really get good matchups because most of the conferences had like the divisional format that the Big Ten still has, and the
Yeah, like
SEC
the best
still
teams
has.
are all like in the same
Yeah.
division because they want to be able to play each other every year. They have they're the best teams are the ones who have rivalries because
Yes.
that's where good players want to go and play. They want to go and play against the best. So they
Yeah.
put them all in the same division, which basically makes the whole thing just not meaningful at all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what they should have done in the Big Ten was gone back to legends and leaders.
Well, what's the difference?
They
Just the
sort
name?
of. I mean, it wasn't geographical. It was just sprinkled in and out, sort of randomly.
Oh, and so like you had like Ohio State, and Michigan were on opposite sides,
Yes.
right? Yeah, and like I get that the concern was, oh well, now they're not going to play every year.
No,
Just have like a rivalry, like whatever the biggest rivalries are between them, like always have Ohio State play Michigan every year.
Yeah.
Then you could potentially have them twice. You could have them in the regular
Back-to-back
season, and you could
weeks.
have them in the championship, and they could be back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, just in 3 adjacent states, just sort of rotating around. Sometimes the game's in Michigan, and then it's in Indianapolis every year. Sometimes it's in Ohio, and then it's in Indianapolis every year. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, so the ACC got rid of divisions. The Pac-12 got rid of divisions and itself. The Big 12 got rid of divisions a long time ago now. So yeah, the good teams will just play each other again in these conference championship games. My internet just went out. Corey, since you're the only one here, are you going to watch any of these? Are you looking forward to any of them?
I don't have plans to watch any of them, but Evan just got very startled by the sudden reappearance of Eric.
Yeah, there's just a man behind me.
Yes, the person that's on the show.
Yeah, anyway.
Did you think he wasn't going to return? What are you doing here? Eric can't figure out how to...
Stop. It's like a slide piece puzzle.
He picked up a chair because he was behind it, and then it ended up next to him instead of behind him where you could sit on it.
It was a little tricky. I figured it out.
Times like this, I wish that we were on video for every
That-
episode.
I probably would have been a little more tactful if we were on video there. I figured that this wouldn't end up on the show, but lo and behold,
that
it did.
deserves to be forever remembered, and unfortunately, we will not have
I
footage.
didn't have the space. I was trying to move my ass in here, and
At that point, I just would have
Wouldn't
stepped
you just
up onto
climb
the
over
chair and climbed over
I
it.
didn't want to be too obnoxious, and so I tried something else. It didn't work, so I ended up just doing that anyway. So
It ended up being even more obnoxious.
Oh my god.
sometimes
no,
the road to hell is paved with good intentions, Corey, and I had good intentions there.
I do
And
not
now
have
I'm going to
specific
hell.
plans to watch any of these games. Maybe I'll tune in. We'll see what my weekend looks like.
Yeah, they're all on, Rabbit Ears TV, if you will. If anybody listening to this remembers Rabbit Ears TV. I will say, though, I would schedule my COVID booster on the Friday night before conference championship Saturday just to be, have an excuse to be laying on the couch all day watching TV. That was just a thing I did, and I would recommend that to all of you out there as well. Alrighty, we have bowl game, believe it or not.
Yeah.
yeah.
Eric, I have here 4 bowl game names.
Okay.
None of them quite as long and obnoxious as the
Big Green Egg Starkville Integrity Bowl.
Starkville Integrity Bowl.
That y'all thought was real. Y'all
Yes.
thought that was real.
Yeah. None of them are quite that long and obnoxious. But of these 4 that I'm going to list, 3 of them are real bowl games.
And they're
that
spectacular,
will take
yes.
place this year.
Okay.
One of them is not.
Okay.
And I created myself. So let's see if you can guess which one of these is a creation of my, I guess, creativity.
Creation of your creativity. Huh? Okay, cool.
So we've got the Tax Act Texas Bowl,
Okay.
the Etsy Trinket Bowl,
Okay.
the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl,
Okay.
and the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl.
Okay. Well, I know the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl is real. I know that the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl is real. You said the something Etsy Bowl?
The Etsy Trinket Bowl.
Etsy Trinket Bowl.
And
Okay.
the Tax Act Texas Bowl.
Jeez. I'm going to say that the Etsy Trinket Bowl is the fake bowl.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That
I
was the
nailed it.
fake
All right,
one.
gotcha. All right, cool. Yeah, because I mean, just the thing is, the Tax Act thing, like H&R Block and TurboTax, they seem like they've got their name on everything. So, that kind of just, to me, especially with W-2s coming out after New Year's and stuff, they got to start. See your H&R Block commercial, so it makes sense for them to have it. Etsy Trinket Bowl just seemed a little too.
Etsy
little
doesn't
too
sell
cute.
just trinkets, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But a
Right.
trinket bowl could also be like the bowl that you have at home, where you put your keys and your wallet and stuff into it when you get home.
I don't do
I
that.
appreciate the effort.
We have one of those.
I appreciate
love
the
having one
effort,
of those.
but I felt pretty confident that was the fake one, and
you were right.
I was right. So there you
well
go.
done.
What can I say?
Through the bowl game names this year, and they were
Think about it,
Less
Etsy. It's a great opportunity
exciting.
for you.
yes, indeed.
That'd be a great bowl game
Yeah.
name.
I'm sure they'll make room for you. They got plenty of other ones.
Yeah.
Just,
Where's Battle Frog?
They've
at?
got
We
the
need to bring them back.
Pop-Tarts Bowl, where they're gonna have an edible mascot this year.
is it
apparently.
like
Good.
edible? Like, can I get high off it, or is it just?
You
Like,
can just
I
eat
think
it.
just that you can eat it.
well, what's the point of having an edible mascot if it's not an actual edible?
It's a
'Cause
Pop
it's a
Tart.
Pop-Tart.
No, I don't want to hear that. No, you got to make it edible.
A Pop-Tart is the thing you eat after you eat an edible.
This sounds like there's a step that's been skipped here, and I think that's
There's
wrong.
a step that's been skipped. No, it's not.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
This is the logical next step, but after dumping mayonnaise on people, right?
I mean,
Apparently, mayonnaise was a gateway bowl.
well, your boys might be playing in the Duke's Mayo Bowl this year, Evan.
I mean, if we're lucky, we might get the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
They might send you to the Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah, probably. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, this is fun, right? You can just eat the mascot now.
How does that work? Like, is there a guy in a suit with, like, is it like an edible arrangement, and he's in the middle, and the rest of the outside of him is edible, and people
Well, I
just
assume
munch
that
on
the
him?
guy is also going to be edible.
So is he just gonna die? He's gonna take the L for
The
advertising
losing coach has to get in the costume.
and get eaten
by the other team.
Who's y'all's coach?
It's Brent Key this
Well,
year.
how do you feel about him maybe getting consumed?
Not great,
Okay.
because
Dubbed the first of its kind, the Pop-Tarts Bowl mascot will interact with the crowd during the game, but by the time the final whistle blows, the toaster pastry character will transform into a snack for the victorious team to feast on.
See, you said bowls, so that's what I'm talking about. Edibles, weed. You need more of that.
I think you need to
eating
get
Pop-Tarts?
your mind out off the drugs here, Eric.
No, I don't. I'm not staying off the weed. This
Stay off the weed.
I don't want to.
Oh,
I refuse. I'm going to Vegas, man.
okay. Well, anyway,
You should come with. It'll be a good time.
maybe. College basketball. Georgia Tech won a game
Look at
over
that.
Mississippi State, so good to beat the Bulldogs at something.
And not the correct Bulldogs.
I mean,
either.
I root against all the Bulldogs at this point.
Do you root against
Fresno State. Goodbye.
Georgetown.
Yale.
Well, Georgetown
They're the
Hoyas.
Hoyas,
I hate Georgetown. They're so obnoxious and annoying. I
Well,
can't stand
they're a
Georgetown.
ghost program too. Like they.
Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Ugh.
I thought they were the
Outta here.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like them either.
Yeah. No. Just beat all the Bulldogs. I almost never pick them on my NCAA tournament bracket. That's a tiebreaker. If they're the Bulldogs, like,
I'm
Get out
surprised it's a tiebreaker, not just an out-and-out rule that you never pick Bulldogs.
well, I mean, it's hard to, random school versus random school. You have to decide some kind of way. So if they're the Bulldog mascot, then they're gone.
How about they're just
Eric
gone
is
in general?
saying that like you should just anytime there's a team with a bulldog,
Yeah.
they should be out in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I don't
Easy
care.
decision.
If they're the number 1 overall
I
seed.
don't care if they're playing IUPUI. Gonzaga, you're gone.
Yeah.
Well,
That should be the rule.
Gonzaga might lose that game.
They might, yeah.
Probably lose to Pepperdine.
We've seen 16s beat ones. That happens now.
Yeah.
Thanks to 7'4" useless future accountants and Zach Edey.
The second best player in college basketball.
Who's the best player in college
Jordan
basketball?
Dickinson.
He's still playing? He's in
Yeah,
college?
he's in Kansas.
And
This is his 7th year, isn't
it's
it?
his 4th year.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's only his 4th.
he's just been so
Is Hunter
annoying
Dickinson
for so
actually
long.
better than Zach Edey, or are you just saying that because he's a DeMatha guy?
I think he is definitely better than Zach Edey.
I don't think he's the best college
You
basketball
didn't answer the
player.
second
But he's better
question.
than Zach Edey.
Well, yeah, because Zach Edey's a bum, but
Who would you put number 1?
I don't know because I don't care that much about college basketball.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nobody on the Terps, who we'll talk about.
Anyway,
in a
that
moment.
win over Mississippi State over the Bulldogs, having to get us back on track.
Apparently
Put
we're
y'all
above
over
500. Yeah.
Like actually over 500 because somebody put that the Terps got above 500, but that's not true.
Yeah,
They
you-
are 500. They are 3-3.
Oh, they've only won. Oh, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah,
Sucks to suck. Can't relate.
yeah, sure. I'm sure y'all be dancing real soon.
And the only reason Maryland got back to 500 is because they got 2 straight wins against South Alabama and Rider.
Where was Ryder?
I don't know what that is. They're a frequent cupcake. I don't know why I thought we had played 3 straight cupcake games and we'd won. My bad. No. Wait. Hold on. We played Rider yesterday.
Yeah.
We played a game on Saturday against South Alabama. We played last Tuesday against, I think, UMBC, and we beat them out. We are 4-3.
Are you sure about that? 'Cause
I'm
when I was
100%
looking today on ESPN, it said
Well,
3-3.
refresh your feed because it's
I'm gonna
4-3.
do that right now. I'm going to do that right now.
Unless the Mount game was secretly an exhibition game and I didn't realize that, they should be 4-3. So yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
4-3.
indeed. Yeah, like I
bad.
said,
My
you know,
bad.
considering I go to all of them, I think I would know. But you know,
Okay.
thank you, Corey,
All
for
right.
questioning my integrity there, jerk.
Your Starksville Green Egg integrity.
That's right. That made-up bowl game that Evan had 5 years ago? It's a
It
while
was
ago.
only like 3 years.
It was quite some time. I think it was before the pandemic. So that was like 4
That was
years
either
ago.
year 2 or 3 of our podcast.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Maryland's 4-3. I still don't think they're good. They beat South Alabama on Saturday, despite only 4 Terps scoring points. They had 8 guys play significant minutes, and only half of them scored any points.
Wow.
Yeah, Deshaun Harris-Smith, a supposed top recruit from Paul VI, he's bad.
He's bad.
Yeah. He went 0 for 5 on Saturday from the field, and he also bricked 2 free throws. Blowing the cover, by the way, because the Terps were favored by 14.5 at closing, and the Terps were up 15. He went to the free throw line with about 30 seconds to go or so. He clanked both free throws, and then South Alabama got a bucket and cut it to 13, and then Maryland dribbled out the clock. So that was, DeMatha kid would never. No, I'm just saying. Just
You
saying.
won by 27 against Rider. 103-76.
And they in fact covered, and Maryland shot a gajillion free throws. It was brutal. I hated being at that game. It was just every possession was a foul. It was just nonstop with the fouling, and I got tired of it. So, but we won. So
You won.
yay! We play Indiana on Friday.
First conference game.
Yeah, not very confident. Given the fact
Are
that
they good?
So they'll be
No,
so
but it
you
doesn't
will be
matter.
500 at that point. Possibly.
it's a distinct possibility we'll be 500. Yeah,
And then next Wednesday you guys play at
Penn
home
State.
again,
Yeah.
Penn State.
yeah. I'm not going to be there for that because I won't be in town. But
Will y'all be under 500?
I don't know. Maybe.
Y'all, didn't you go to the school too?
Well, we won't talk about that because that's not nice.
I went there.
He did, in fact,
did go
attend.
to the
I
Yes,
did attend that school
Yes.
for a time.
for quite some time. Longer than me even.
For quite some time.
But
Eric, which state is Rider University in?
are you actually asking me
Yes.
because you know the answer?
I just Googled it.
New York.
New Jersey.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
They're just outside of Trenton in Lawrenceville,
Okay.
New Jersey.
Lawrence Township.
Sure.
They call everything a township up there. That's
Yeah.
where Six Flags Great Adventures in Jackson Township. But if you look at the weather, it just says Jackson. So
Anyway, back to whatever we were talking about.
the Terps, who are going to be under 500 by the time I come back from wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently in men's basketball, UConn set a record with the 24th consecutive double-digit non-conference win. This is a Tim
That is
Kurkjian
definitely
stat.
a Tim Kurkjian stat, yeah.
Yeah. They were tied with the 2008-2009 UNC team.
That team won the Natty.
That team won the Natty.
Is that the Tyler Hansbrough team?
That was one of the
And
top
UConn is
teams, yeah.
coming off.
They did win the national
right, they
championship
did
last
win.
year. And nobody remembered because nobody cared.
This streak crosses over the 2 seasons, whereas that previous streak, that was all within the 2008-2009 season for UNC.
They played 25 non-conference games.
24. I think it was all within the same season.
That's
That
a
seems
lot
like a
of
lot.
non-conference games. I mean, they played 6 games in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
But that's like they probably only played like 40 games total, if that.
It was all within 1 calendar year. Or,
Oh,
Well, that's a
whatever.
different story then, man. Like
So I guess it could have crossed. I
you're
don't know.
moving the goalposts, man. You're all over the place, Corey. Jeez.
Women's college basketball, Lady Terps get back above 500. Are we sure they're above
Yes.
500?
Yes.
Okay. Following 2 wins in the Cancun tournament.
Yeah, they beat Green Bay 68-59 on Friday, and then they crushed UMass on Saturday 92-63. But that still was not enough to keep them from falling outside the top 25 for the first time since 2010. It's been 13 years since they have not been ranked.
Yes.
Oh,
that
really?
was,
Wow.
Like the
Yeah.
second longest streak in college basketball ended. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if these next 2 games are, even if they win both of them, or if it's going to be enough to get them back in there, because they're hosting Niagara tonight, and then they host George Mason on Sunday, and then they get a week off.
Okay, so they should roll those 2 games and then
They should.
Yeah.
But, those 2 teams aren't that good, so it might not be enough to
Yeah, it's not going to move the needle.
move them up.
No.
We'll see.
Florida Gulf Coast in women's basketball is relevant, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, they had an interesting run on the men's side of the tournament like 3 years ago, and then the last couple
longer
of
than
years.
3
When they
years
beat
ago. That was
Georgetown.
a
That was
long
like
time ago.
2015
Was it that
or
long?
It was
something.
like 2015. Yeah.
Really?
It
Was
a
that long
while
ago?
ago.
Yeah.
I thought they had a couple of wins more recently than
I
that.
don't remember.
I remember them
watching
beating
Florida Gulf
Georgetown,
Coast
that's it.
any other
Regardless, their women's team has also been pretty competitive recently, and they continue to be competitive. They upset number 18 UNC in Chapel Hill on Sunday
good.
by 1 point. That came after a tough loss against number 5 Iowa on Saturday, and then another upset in the top 25. In fact, in the top 10, number 10 NC State beat number 3 Colorado on Saturday at the Paradise Jam by a lot, 78-60.
Oh. Seems North Carolina's kind of got a thing for losing to inferior teams.
I know because I was there.
Yeah. Same. Anything else from the other topics or anything before we get into NFL?
I think that's about it.
Alrighty. The Ravens won. In week 11, they beat the Bengals on Thursday Night Football 34-20. And then a couple nights ago, Sunday Night Football, they went to LA and beat the Chargers 20-10.
Shout out Zay Flowers for the run the cover play there. That was very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't help me very much.
It didn't help you because you picked the Bolts for some reason.
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
No one.
I got all the other games wrong, too.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
I think what I'm going to do this week is say who I'm going to pick and then just like make up my mind and rationalize it and then just flip it the other way. I'm like, you know what? I'm just picking
So you're gonna
Washington
so I'm
and the
gonna
Jets.
put down the opposite of whoever you say.
So you're gonna do the George Costanza and
Yeah.
just
Because the regular way ain't working.
if your instinct is always wrong, then the opposite has to be correct.
Seems like it.
Very good, George.
Yeah, it worked for George that whole
It
episode.
did.
He got the job with the Yankees. He got a really attractive girlfriend. He punked some kids in the movie theater. He was having a good old
And then
time.
for some reason, he decided to stop doing the opposite.
Well, because next season came along, and
Yeah,
the Seinfeld's a no learning type of show.
it is.
Okay. Well, anyway, Ravens are 9-3 currently, the number 1 seed in the AFC, going on bye this week. So, like everybody says, the bye came at the perfect time. We can get healthy and go on a vacation and get ourselves to self-scout and blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
all
blah,
that
blah.
nonsense.
And
they
ruin
always
all
say,
this
yeah.
good momentum that you have going.
I mean, I guess, but whatever.
I don't
It's
know if they
just
have that much momentum.
I don't have to worry about them losing or getting hurt this week because there's no game this week. I get to watch the Red Zone in peace, and it's going to be a delight. The Saints, Eric, what happened to them? Apparently they were on bye in week 11, and week 12 is blank on here, so
Well, they
weren't
lost.
on bye again.
No, but they might as well have been. They lost to the Falcons. It's pretty sad state of affairs. They got swept by the Dirty Birds this year. So now the Falcons are currently in control of the NFC South with a robust 5-6 record. So awesome. Yeah, the Saints are just bad, man. Like, what can you say about them? Their offense is cheeks. Like, Derek Carr sucks. He's sucked all year. They refuse to put Jameis out there because, let's face it, Jameis isn't very good either, but at least he's fun. I would love to watch him play, especially as someone who has Chris Olave on both of his fantasy teams. I'd rather have the guy that throws the ball downfield throwing to him than Derek Carr, who just stands in the pocket and gets sacked and then yells at everybody. So the Saints just aren't good. They've got talent, but the most important position is a severe weakness, and the coaching spot is a severe weakness, as we have documented. Dennis Allen sucks. So
He needs to go. He's terrible.
yeah, he's garbage. So that's all I got. I don't really have anything else about the Saints.
Alrighty. The Lions, Corey, week 11, Goff threw a quarter of a dozen picks, and the Lions beat the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, we overcame some bad play by Jared Goff early in that game. He picked it up late in the game and helped us get that win against the Bears team that's been a little bit frisky at times. But that was a game that should not have been as close as it was, obviously. And then a week later on Thanksgiving,
They peed down their leg in front of the whole world.
Yeah,
and their grandmother.
Goff, coming off of throwing 3 interceptions, decided, I'm not going to throw any interceptions today, but I am going to fumble and lose 3. I'm going to lose 3 fumbles in this game.
Didn't he fumble a 4th time and it was recovered by Detroit?
No, I think he only fumbled 3 times, but they lost all 3 of them.
Okay.
And then downs, and it just felt like we were doing too much. We were acting like this game was getting completely out of hand well before it actually did. Ultimately, it was a 1-score game. We lost by 8 points. If we had
7 points.
7
It says
points.
29-22.
Yeah, sorry. We lost by 7 points. If even just one of those 4th down attempts that we attempted and didn't convert, we just punt the ball away. I think one of them might have even been in field goal range and could have gotten some points that way. Maybe we are able to flip that. Maybe we're actually able to scratch a victory out of this. So it was a little bit disappointing. It felt like, Dan Campbell might have outcoached himself a little bit this time. Just kind of gotten in his own way. This was definitely not a performance worthy of a coach of the year. But you also can't have your quarterback turning the ball over 6 times in 2 games. That's just not a recipe for success.
Turned the ball over 6 times in 5 days.
I mean, from what I saw, like, the Packers outplayed the Lions real bad in this game.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that the game was actually close is kind of a little bit of a miracle.
The Lions defense started to kind of lock things down the second half, but they were terrible early. Like, Jordan Love was
carving y'all up. He was dealing, man.
Jordan Love never does anything well, and then all of a sudden plays the Lions on Thanksgiving. He's just
last
had
couple
the
weeks
highest DYR of the week.
The last couple of weeks he's looked
balling
pretty
out.
good. Also, shout out to, I already forgot who it was, but the duet that did the national anthem for that game, fantastic.
I didn't see
They were absolutely fantastic. The halftime show was the opposite of that. Jack Harlow, go kick rocks, dude. You suck. Get out of my face.
Really?
He was terrible.
I was
Absolutely hot garbage.
I've watched some of his music. I didn't get a
Brutal.
chance to actually see the show, though.
The stage setup, maybe I can't blame him for this, but he looked like he was at the freaking like Rebel base at Hoth. Like in a little igloo or something like that he was like he's like running around on. And he had some weird little dude behind him too as like his hype man. It was trash.
Interesting.
Absolute trash.
Okay.
What about the halftime show in the Dallas game?
it's Dolly Parton. So what can you say? You know,
National
Dolly's
treasure.
a queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so who do the Lions have this week?
The Lions play the Saints.
Oh,
Oh no, there's a get right game for you after a bad Thanksgiving, especially after 10 days off.
That's what I'm hoping.
That's what I'm expecting. So, yikes! Not looking forward to that.
okay. I guess I'm gonna just keep rolling down here. Our picks competition, if we must.
We must.
Yeah, we must. Reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or via email for this week's this year's picks contest. I guess really just this week because it's week 13 now out of 18. Send us an email at thesportsballers@gmail.com if you would like to participate, and if you win, you'll get a shout out on the show. And if you beat me, then congrats
like
for
everybody
rolling
else.
out of bed
Yeah.
that day. You just
It was a bad week for Evan if you haven't
oh,
called.
it was unmitigated disaster. So let's see. We base our lines on the spreads from FanDuel at 5 p.m. every Wednesday, and that's it.
Yeah.
So my biggest regret pick was the Jets. Watching that on Black Friday.
At Hershey Park
at Hershey
with
Park.
me, and I was making fun of you the entire time
Yeah.
for picking the Jets.
Yeah,
because that was
terrible.
stupid.
It was very stupid.
It was not smart.
I'm not going to pick them anymore. Just
Period.
I'm out.
Yeah, my biggest regret was picking the Chargers against the Ravens. I should have seen that coming. I'm also not going to pick the Chargers anymore against the spread, except that I'm probably going to end up picking them this week because that's just what I do.
Go Chargers.
I always regret picking the Chargers, and then I do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Goofy meme.
Well, we can't
That's it.
say
I'll do
that
it
on
again.
here. Yeah. Someone talk about addiction. Corey's addicted to the Chargers. It's not good, buddy.
Eric, your regret pick was the Manders,
Yeah.
who I think gave up another touchdown.
Yes, they did. They gave up the fifth pick six to whatever Cowboys defensive end
Bland,
was. Yeah.
Duron Bland.
set a new record.
Set a record for that. I thought that when the line was 12.5, I was like, that seems like a lot of points. And then
And Washington sometimes plays them pretty well on Thanksgiving.
And then by game day, it was at 13.5, and I was like, "Oh, the line moved up. I'm in trouble." Like, that only portends bad things. And the Durs were only down 10 at the half, so I'm like, it could happen, right? Hanging around, just get a little backdoor cover if they're down 17 or something like that. No, that didn't happen. They got skunked 25-0 in the second half.
Yikes!
Just a complete
25-0.
Just a complete disaster. Predictably so. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. So, take an L.
Alrighty. Proudest pick, Corey. Your proudest pick was the Bears at Minnesota.
Yeah, I kind of saw that Josh Dobbs' magic was at an end. Which is a shame because I like Josh Dobbs. I think he's a fun story. I think he's seems like a really good dude. But there's a reason why he's bounced around the league so much. He ain't that guy. He just ain't that guy. Once you have a chance to game plan for him, and he still clearly has not learned the playbook because he still has Kevin O'Connell in his ear before every single play up until the mic cuts off at 15 seconds. I felt like, with Justin Fields coming back, maybe get a few decent plays, a couple touchdown drives might be all it takes to keep them within a field goal of the Vikings, and lo and behold, they wound up winning the game outright. So yeah, that was my proudest pick.
They didn't even score a touchdown. They kicked 4 field goals.
That game was an insult to rock fights. Like it was just
really bad.
unwatchable dreck.
Of course, it looked like
and I
Fields
sat and watched the
was-
whole
yeah.
thing like an idiot.
It looked like Fields wasn't going to get it done. Like obviously they still would have covered.
Until he
but-
did.
and then he just throws
Kept
a
fumbling
dot.
the ball, and then he
Yeah,
throws
just
a dot.
doing stupid stuff, and then he throws an absolute rope to DJ Moore, who has in fact had more than one good game. Evan.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't just
Even
a-
just this year, he's had more than one good game.
yeah. So
One
yeah,
and
that
a half good games.
He had one great game. He
Yeah.
had a few other good games.
was very good for my fantasy team in the other league. I picked Giants over Patriots because
Why would
Here,
you?
I thought I had that one, and then I realized, no, I actually didn't pick the Giants.
I picked this because I guess I lone wolfed it.
Yeah.
Because just hilarious.
Why
the
would you
fact
pick
that-
the Giants?
Eric and I were perfect on Lone Wolves this week.
Oh, and I got all of them wrong.
I think you got one right.
I mean, I
And
got.
4 others wrong.
I thought that. Like I kind of hate Tommy DeVito, and it's not because of anything he did. Well, actually, it is because
Because his mother makes his bed
his
for
mom
him.
makes his bed for him. I think that's kind of weak.
Bro, like,
Just don't make your bed at all.
get with the current century.
And just the obsessiveness over the fact that he looks like a character right out of The Sopranos, like, and just all the the Italian stuff going on. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's an Italian quarterback who looks like Jackie Aprile Jr. Well, what happened to Jackie Jr. in The Sopranos?
I would just
No
be
idea.
very
I know.
upset
It wasn't
if a
good.
quarterback who is behind Daniel Jones on the depth chart actually is like good.
He's
That'd be-
not
that'd
good.
be stupid.
He's
Isn't he
terrible.
behind somebody else on the depth chart. Who's the Giants' other quarterback before?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
He got hurt. He's probably still in the hospital from his catastrophic injury that he has every year.
Poor Tyrod.
Even sometimes it's the
Did the
medical
team
doctor.
trainer do it
I don't
to
think it
him
wasn't
this
the
time?
team trainer this time. I don't think. But yeah, like Mac Jones is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the worst quarterback in football that still was starting. I don't think he's. Have they said that whether or not he's going to start this week or not?
Does
I
it
have to
matter?
imagine it's going to be Bailey Zappi.
It seems to be the indication seems to be it's going to be Bailey Zappi, but Mac is just a broken individual at this point. Like he's done, and I kind of had it all the way there because I'm like the Giants are going to cover this spread. Like there's no way the Patriots aren't going to score enough to win by 3.5. They'd be lucky to score 3 at all. It was just a garbage game.
Mike Rice did not see Mac Jones throw during the media access period of today's practice. Billy
Mike Rice
Zappi
would
took
know.
multiple first-team reps with practice quarterback rookie Malik Cunningham behind it.
Okay, so it sounds like Mac is cooked. That's expected, but
That's
yeah.
happened multiple times, though. He'll be back. Inexplicably.
Unfortunately, yeah. And also shout out to Chad Ryland, former Terp, who everybody insisted was good. Well, it turns out, yeah, he can't kick in the pros either because he shanked another big kick. I just remember every time I had my phone out, I was watching the Terps game, I was keeping up on the Gamecast or whatever, and it's like, oh, Terps 4th down and whatever from like the 26-yard line. So, okay, here comes the field goal unit. Chad Ryland kicked no good every time. It's like, oh, yeah, he's the Big Ten's best kicker. I'm like, he doesn't make any kicks. He never makes any big kicks. He's just missing all these kicks all the time. So, anyway, Evan, do your Mike Breen.
Yes. So I put for my proudest pick, little Mike Breen. That's good. His second 3-pointer. That's an air ball, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the list. Just an air ball.
For those who don't know, when the NBA was playing in the bubble, Mike Breen had an ignominious moment where he misinterpreted an airballed 3 for a make because it hit the net, and it looked like it might have swished, and he called it like it was a make, and Jeff Van Gundy had to correct him and said, "That's an airball, Mike," in the middle of the broadcast. And Mike Breen told that story on Pablo Torre's former podcast when he did the ESPN Daily, but that is no more.
To be clear, Evan, you did have a lone wolf pick correct.
Which
you were
one
the
was
only
it?
one who took the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
So you can be a little proud of that.
We messed up.
Yeah.
Your failed lone wolf picks were taking the Seahawks over
We
the
don't have enough
49ers,
time for that.
the Jets
It's a
over the
long
Dolphins,
list.
He's gonna
the
list them all.
Panthers over the Titans, and the Cardinals over the Rams.
Ooh. He also took the Bolts, didn't he?
Yeah, but I took the Bolts as well.
Oh, so that was bad.
Do we have any bad beats? Or no? Most surprising. I put all of them.
Everyone was surprised the whole weekend.
Yes. I think my most surprising was the fact that the Eagles and the Bills ended up just pushing. The Eagles were favored by 3. They won by 3. I was sure they were going to win by more than that because the Bills have been so disappointing recently, and the Eagles have been a really good team this year. So for them to only come away with a 3-point win at home, by the way, they were in Philadelphia for that game. I felt like the Eagles are definitely a better team than the Bills, and they're at home. Why are they only getting the requisite 3 points from home field advantage? Didn't make a lot of sense to me, and
Well,
yet
they almost lost.
it was a push, and they almost lost. The Eagles' defense is supposed to be decent, and Josh Allen had a field day. threw and ran all over him.
Josh Allen was dealing this week.
Gabe Davis had a field day.
Gabe Davis caught a pass
He
this
showed
week.
up.
Gabe Davis has had 2 0-point fantasy games in the past 4 weeks. He scored like 25 points this past week.
Apparently, he's a better roller coaster than Fury 325, according to Corey. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
not sure I believe that.
that's quite something.
We also, I'm going to say it again because I mentioned it 2 weeks ago on this program. Sean McDermott needs to be fired. Case in point right here. The Eagles scored the game-tying field goal. Firstly, the fact that Dum Dum called a timeout when Philly was rushing the team on the field. Like, they were rushing Jake Elliott and the special teams unit onto the field. So they're going to have to kick a fire drill field goal from 59 yards away outside.
In the pouring rain.
In the rain. And McDermott decides to ice the kicker under these circumstances, which just basically gave the Eagles time to settle down and actually get themselves set properly. And then, of course, Elliott hits just this absolute mammoth kick. And, oh, by the way, wouldn't that timeout be nice to have when there's 20 seconds left and you need a field goal to win the game? And, you know, you've got Josh Allen who's playing the best game he's played probably all season. Like, wouldn't it be nice to be able to say, hey, we can stop the clock twice if we need to so Allen can throw over the middle and maybe we can get ourselves in field goal range? Nope. Burn that timeout and then just takes a knee. Doesn't even give Josh Allen a chance. Goes to overtime and, well, they lose. So
The Bills got the ball first in overtime.
yeah, they did.
Could have walked off with a touchdown.
No, they didn't do it.
They didn't get it done.
Did not get it done.
Let's see. Eric, you're most surprised Packers handled Lions?
Yeah. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought
didn't
the Lions were going to roll them. The Lions rolled them in Lambeau earlier in the season. The Packers haven't really shown a whole lot of life this year. They win some squeakers against some crummy teams that are poorly coached. The Lions are not a crummy team, and they're not poorly coached, and yet Thursday, they just, the Lions just seemed like they were had a little too much stuffing and a little too much gravy, and just didn't seem like they were fully with it. So,
Too much gravy.
good gravy.
Good gravy.
We'll talk about that
Yes.
later.
Any bad beats this week?
I mean, I guess maybe you could consider the Ravens game a bad beat just because Zay Flowers didn't have to score there, right? Like, he took it to the house. He probably should have, if we're being technical, should have just
Slid
taken a
at the
seat
one.
and then ran the clock out. But I appreciated it. It scored me a lone wolf win, so that was nice. But that's kind of questionable as a bad beat. Like, it feels like the Ravens should have won that game by a lot more than they
I mean, even like he's a rookie player, right? Like, good for him scoring a
get
touchdown.
the tutter. Yeah. Like, I didn't have a problem with it. I just, like, he could have easily made a different decision and he didn't. So that game could have gone either way.
Yeah. Let's see. Did James Daly win our
Yep.
fan contest? All right, good for him because he needed something good to happen this week. This poor Auburn Tigers just
Man, that's just
brutal.
I was like pretty much my former boss, the main guy that I report to as the federal customer that I have, and my new boss are all Auburn alums. So, I was kind of hoping when it looked like Auburn was going to win the Iron Ball that I was going to go in there and just be like, hey, especially because it's review time. Maybe
Yes,
I can,
War Eagle.
Yeah, give them that War Eagle, and all that stuff, and just be like, how about them taggers? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Just throw the toilet paper
I'm
and
just gonna
stuff.
duck and cover, and just hopefully they don't notice me, and just they don't fire me or not give me a raise. So there you go.
Yeah. So congratulations to James. Good for you.
These Packers won.
Oh yeah, the Packers did win on Thanksgiving. Eric, you are first up. Since
I'm on the spot. I'm not used to this.
Yes, welcome to the spot.
I never win, so
Yeah, so we have to pick
We have
2
to
weeks
eliminate
worth.
2 teams
Again.
again.
And so 2 weeks ago, Eric won.
Yes, all the way back to 2 weeks ago when I won. I got to figure out who I'm going to eliminate.
So far, you've eliminated the Rams, Panthers, Texans, Broncos, Patriots, Giants, Vikings, Cardinals, Jets, Da Bears, and Da Raiders.
Raiders, yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Who am I going to do this week?
I'm picking next.
I could get wild and crazy. I think it's a little premature. I'm not going to do that. Who have I? So I've already done the Broncos.
just said.
I know. I'm reevaluating. So Broncos and Raiders are gone. Those are like the easy choices from the West. The South.
Although I'm starting to get a little nervous with the Broncos.
Yeah, me too. But fortunately, we've all gotten rid of them.
Yeah. You've also gotten rid of the Texans. You might be a little nervous about.
I'm glad that guy doinked the field goal off the crossbar because that helped the cause. Because then
We're still above 500.
I know. I'm a little worried, but I'm less worried now. Boy, let's look at the NFC. Who we got? So everybody's done the Cardinals. It's getting tough, man.
That's the exercise.
Oh, I got an easy choice here. What am I talking about?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Durs.
Yeah.
Oh.
They gots to go.
That's probably where I was going to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Durs. They gotta go. Get them out of here.
On the Tony Kornheiser show, the guy from Louisiana, James
Carville?
Yeah.
Carville's
Everything
awesome.
James Cameron, for some reason, got
No.
stuck. James Carville, he called them the commodes.
Yeah, I've
which
heard
I thought was
that
hilarious.
too. Yeah, that's
And,
pretty good.
I was stuck in a bunch of traffic this evening, had time to think. Like, if they change their uniform color from burgundy and gold to brown and gold, it makes more sense as the commodes. Anyway, I'm picking next, and so far I've eliminated the Colts, Cardinals, Panthers, Bears, Raiders, Patriots, Giants, Titans, Broncos, Rams, and the aforementioned commodes. And I'm gonna eliminate. The Tampa Bay. No, I don't want to eliminate them. The other team I thought of just a second ago and forgot already.
Okay.
I don't remember who that was either.
There's only 32 teams. Man. Find them.
Yeah. The Chargers. I haven't eliminated them yet. Go Chargers, go out of the playoffs.
Get them out of here.
Okay.
Corey, you've eliminated the Cardinals, Titans, Bears, Giants, Broncos, Panthers, Raiders, Patriots, Rams, Jets, Packers, and...
I'm going to get rid of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh. Okay.
I think they're done at this point.
Yeah, no Joe Burrow. That's tough.
Yeah. He's done for the year, and they are currently under 500 at 5-6.
In
There's a
tougher
couple other
conference.
teams who maybe I could consider getting rid of at this point. Certainly the Chargers are on the short list, but I'm going to save them for a little bit later. I don't expect them to get back into the hunt, but they're more likely to get back into the hunt than the Bengals are at this point, in my opinion.
I mean, I just eliminated the Chargers. I
Yeah.
think they're toast.
Yeah. So we'll go to our second round of picks, and I get to pick first this time.
Mm-hmm. You're on the turn or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am going to follow Eric's lead, and I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the Commanders here.
Roads.
Commodes.
And we'll just go ahead and make it. Yeah. Yeah. Clean sweep. All three of us have now eliminated the Commanders in consecutive weeks.
All right, well, I'm going to piggyback off of Evan here and eliminate the Chargers. You didn't even let me finish, but you just typed it in there already, but that's cool. There's plenty of choices at this point, honestly, with the Bengals kind of being a little shaky. So, yeah, but Chargers for sure. They suck.
Wonderful. Corey, did you pick the Bengals on the...
In the previous round.
In the
So
previous round?
They're eligible for selection.
All right, I'll take them because I can't think of anybody else. I kind of want Tampa Bay because they have 7 losses, but like first place in their
Man,
division
it's
is
the
at
NFC.
6 losses.
The NFC
So,
South, and it's the NFC in general. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to get that 7th spot.
Who currently has the 7th spot in the NFC?
I don't
The Vikings.
Yeah.
It's
Like how
6 and
somehow we
6.
found a way to all eliminate the same 3 teams.
Well, I stole his idea. I was low key thinking about killing the Bills, but
I was
not
definitely
ready for
thinking
that.
about the Bucks.
Yeah, but it's like they've
They're 4-7.
It's just so tricky with the NFC because they're all so bad.
Yeah, particularly the South. Somebody has to win that division.
Might be the Falcons.
I feel like you should be required to be over 500 to be a division winner, right? Like, just,
Well, given
least to
that
get the
my
automatic
team,
playoff bid.
Yeah.
given that my team was on the wrong end of a loss to a 7-9 team in the post,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah,
but
if you're 7-9 or now 8-9, and you win your division, like, no, that spot should go to somebody else. With that said, there isn't a worthy team that should get it. I guess move Dallas up, but then
Just give a second team a bye.
that just puts the Packers in, who
Just
we don't think
just
are good.
make it a 6-team thing. Just like no, only just go
Why
back.
just
didn't
get
we
no
ever
game.
Make it 7.
It's money.
Yeah,
Answer to all your questions is money. Come on, man. So we're done with that.
I'm telling you, they're gonna step on the product too much. They're gonna mess it up.
Oh, and, I mean, you
gonna happen.
can't kill the golden goose, I guess. Best and worst per shots, quick reads. The past 2 weeks, 11 and 12. We got the best quarterback were Brock Purdy and Jordan Love, and the worst was someone called Tim Boyle and Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yep. Somehow Goff was not bottom 5 in either week.
Oh, he tried his best though.
I think he was
to get
6th
down
from
there.
worst in week 11, but he was 14th in week 12 out of a full 32 or 33 players who were qualified.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Running backs by total is Jalen Warren and Kyren Williams.
Kylo Ren Williams.
That's a lot of just their names are very similar. And then the worst were Alexander Madison and Jalen Warren.
Yeah, Jalen Warren went from best to worst by total DYAR.
And he also went from best to worst in
Rushing only. Yes.
Throw in Jonathan Taylor was the best last week, and Alexander Madison was the worst 2 weeks ago. Pass catchers, the best pass catchers have been Nathaniel Tank Dell and Jalen Waddle, and the worst are Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore.
So what's Steven complaining about? Jalen Waddle put up a good week this week. He's telling me I sold him a lemon.
Well, he also got rid of Jalen Waddle since then.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's with Sean now, I think.
So who's he have of mine? He still has Eckler,
Yeah, he still
and
has
he's
Eckler.
got Waller, and neither one of them are producing. So
Yeah. Eckler's at least producing a little bit, sort of.
not
very
producing
much.
enough to justify giving up a 4th-round pick and C.J. Stroud next year.
It should be noted that of Elijah Moore's minus 57 total DYAR this past week, minus 24 of it came on one play. It was a blown reverse in the fourth quarter. So if you only look at receiving DYAR, the worst this past week was Josh Downs, the rookie wide receiver for the Colts, who had minus 46 receiving DYAR.
Aren't Wilson and Moore both on the Jets?
No,
No,
Elijah
Moore's
Moore
a
used to
49er,
be
right?
Elijah Moore used to be a Jet. Now he's a Brown.
There's a Brown now.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the Browns' like number 2 receiver behind Cooper.
Oh.
Or maybe
Okay.
3. Is Donovan Peoples-Jones still
No, they traded him.
a Brown?
He's gone.
Okay.
The Peoples Jones went somewhere else. I forgot where he went though.
Anyway, one of the picks, week 13, we're picking against the spread. These spreads were acquired from FanDuel at 5 p.m. this afternoon. Eric got them at 5 p.m. this afternoon.
That's right.
There are 6 teams on bye. Ravens, Bills, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, Giants, all on bye. Good for the Giants going on bye. They're
Good
not
for
gonna lose
us
this
that the
week.
Giants are on bye. We don't have to worry
Because
about
otherwise
Pop.
they'd be on national TV.
And we'd be getting all the Italian memes, just because Tommy DeVito, he's Italian. I'm like, yeah, well, he can't play football, so what do I care?
Yeah. So starting Thursday night football, Seahawks at Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 8.5 points. I'm going Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, 8.5, big spread. I don't think it's enough. Cowboys have a decisive advantage in every phase of the game. I believe Dak Prescott has been playing like an MVP candidate over the past month or so. He's been fantastic. Tony Pollard has actually had a couple of decent games in a row.
Shout out.
Yeah, I mean like that. This is a potential NFC Championship contender at this point.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not ready to
I
say
thought you were going to say.
I'm always gonna be a little bit nervous saying that just because we've seen what the Cowboys do when we get to the playoffs
And when they play good teams.
and when they play
Yeah.
good teams. The Seahawks have not
Are
really
not
been
one
a
of
good
those.
team
No,
this year.
they've looked like bunts.
They've been
Yeah.
pretty bad. So yeah, I'm going Cowboys here.
Yeah, the Cowboys are a wagon when playing teams like the Seahawks, who are kind of deficient talent-wise, and Geno Smith's kind of had come back to earth this year after having a pretty strong season last year. I think it's pretty pretty straightforward. I'm taking the Cowboys to cover this line. And, Corey, you mentioned that Dak is playing like an MVP candidate. I think he is the MVP.
He might be.
Like I don't know who else you'd pick. Like a lot of people are saying Jalen Hurts just because the Eagles' record is so good, but Hurts just turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in terms of just overall quarterback performance, I think it's been Dak.
I think it's fair.
Alrighty. Well, on the Sunday, 1 o'clock, Chargers -6 at the Patriots. Ugh. I don't want to pick the Chargers,
I'm gonna do it.
but I
Corey's going for
it. I'm gonna do it.
really don't
Corey's
want to
going for
pick the Patriots.
I'm gonna do it.
Spelled bolts with a Z there for a brief second.
I'm gonna. This is gonna be my regret pick this week. I'm predicting it now, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Give me the bolts.
Evan, you want me to take it, or you want some more time? What's
Pats. It's just this. The Chargers. They're probably gonna win, but something weird's gonna have to happen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I understand the consternation of picking the Chargers, but come on. This Patriots team is an embarrassment.
Oh right,
Like,
that's true.
by the way, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, I forgot.
Oh right, that's right. They're horrible. Yeah, they're 2-9. Like, they're just absolute dog water, and
Are they the worst team in the league? Like
I think you could make a
far and
compelling
away?
case that they are. And
record-wise. Oh well.
Bill's getting fired.
Yeah.
Like they might couch it differently. They might say mutual parting of ways. They might trade him or something.
We're all gonna know what it means.
Yeah. He's fired as hell.
Oh well, I mean the Cardinals are 2-10, and the Panthers are 1-10. So they're the only other teams that are.
But I feel like
worse.
the Patriots have looked worse than those teams.
I guess.
Like
Somehow the Patriots are only 25th in DVOA. The Falcons, Jets, Raiders, Commanders, Cardinals, Panthers, and Giants are all worse than them.
The first
By
place
DVOA.
Falcons get it right.
The Patriots defense has had some moments where they've looked pretty good. I'll give them that, but I feel like those days are gone.
Alrighty.
They're ranked 27th in offensive DVOA and 31st in special teams.
31st. Who's 32nd in special teams? Is it the
It's
Chargers?
actually not the Chargers this year because the Chargers special teams is number 2 this year. Believe it or not.
Dicker, the
Whoa.
kicker, is actually pretty good.
The worst special teams is the other LA team.
Oh,
Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay. Let's see. Battle of the Sports Ballers Part 2. We've got Lions.
Boogaloo?
Yeah, Lions -45 or -45,
Minus
-4.5.
45. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the Saints.
I'd pound the Saints if they were getting 45.
Might as well be 45. Lions -4.5 at the Saints. I'm leaning Give me Lions -4.5 or 45. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm also going to take the Lions here. This is one of those games where I just feel like if they don't cover this spread, because like this has to be a get-right game. The Lions had a really bad performance against the Bears and somehow managed to pull it out. And I was a little nervous coming out of that game. I waffled a bit making my pick for the Thanksgiving game. Ultimately still went with the Lions, mostly just as a homer pick because I was very nervous going into it. But then we got thoroughly outplayed by the Packers. If you don't bounce back from a game like that with the extra time to prepare for this game, then as much fun as the season has been so far, this is the end of the road for the Lions as far as like playoff, not necessarily like making the playoffs, but in terms of being able to go somewhere in the playoffs, being able to like win a playoff game, much less multiple playoff games. I think that it should be the end of Dan Campbell's head coach of the year qualification run. If we can't bounce back after that in this game against the Saints.
Well, if the season ended this past week, the Lions would host Seattle in the wild card weekend.
Again,
I think the Lions
as of
roll
right
Seattle
now,
in that
as
situation.
of right now, I would agree.
Yeah, but then
But
they
we
would.
should also be rolling the Saints, and if we can't do that in this situation, then I would have concerns about our ability to do it to the Seahawks as well.
Yeah.
That's
well,
that's kind of where I'm at this point. I'm also just feeling a little pessimistic right now because I'm very upset that Ben Johnson is probably going to end up being the Panthers' next head coach. Now that Frank Reich has been fired, and
that happened.
They need an offensive guy to come in and work with Bryce Young.
Yeah, try to save Bryce Young's fledgling career.
How is that? Their offensive line sucks. What is the new coach going to do? Is he going to block too?
Okay,
No.
but are we acting like Frank Reich did a good job?
I
mean,
He did.
can't accuse him of doing a good job.
no, you
certainly
can't.
cannot.
He's terrible.
Who was the one team they beat?
They beat the Texans, in the battle between the top two picks, and C.J. Stroud, who's looked immaculate. By the way, if you ask me who the best quarterback in football this year was, the answer is C.J. Stroud. Like, I mean that. Like, Kyle turned the TikTok camera on.
Like all of football?
Yeah, like the whole league.
The whole sport.
The whole ass sport. College, Canadian football, XFL, NFL, Pop Warner, I don't care. Backyard
NFL
Thanksgiving game, it doesn't matter. CJ Stroud has been so good. You can't. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the league because Patrick Mahomes has the deference there. You have to give it to him. You have to give it to guys like Joe Burrow and Lamar. But in terms of just looking at this year's performance, given what he started with, what that team is, and what that team was coming into the year, and how he's played, I'd take his performance over anybody's. Just saying.
And remember how we were making fun of the Texans for winning that last game and falling to the second pick?
Yeah, and it worked out great because it stopped them from getting,
It got them.
I'm not quitting on Bryce Young. Because
I'm not either.
He's a rookie and he's playing on a bad team. But
so is C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud being this good is so unprecedented for a rookie to be playing at this level. Like, again, it's not really fair to say to Bryce Young, why aren't you as good as this guy? Well, because nobody ever has been as good as this guy as a rookie. It's insane.
Not even Peyton Manning, right?
Peyton Manning was not good as a rookie. He threw
throwing the ball to
28
the other
picks.
team.
But like Justin Herbert had a great rookie year. He wasn't this good. RG3 had a great rookie year. He wasn't this good.
Joe Flacco had a good rookie year.
He wasn't this
Definitely
good.
wasn't this good.
No.
He wasn't this good ever.
That's true. Anyway, I'm taking the Lions to cover this line.
That's what we were talking about?
The last time I was in the building when the Lions played the Saints in the Superdome one time, it got ugly in favor of the Lions. And the Lions were not that good back then.
The Lions rolled the Saints,
in
you're saying?
the Dome, yes. I know, because I was there.
In the Saints Dome.
In the Superdome, yes. Not Ford Field, in the Superdome.
Oh.
Yes.
The Lions haven't been good in 60 years. How does that happen?
They were good
Well, I guess
then.
the Saints hadn't really either.
Well, 2014,
It'd only been
the
like
Saints
50
Saints were
years.
terrible. Or I think it was 2016, actually. But yeah, like Matt Stafford threw a bomb. He got hit as he threw and, was caught for a touchdown. I just remember looking back towards the huddle. I just see him running around doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm just like, just get me to Bourbon Street, man. Like, I'm all done.
12 minutes left in the first quarter. Let's go drink some more.
Out. Like, I've had mixed bag of success going to Saints games, and 2 lifetime. That was one of the 2 losses. Oh, it was to the Lions. The other one was to the Bengals.
Okay,
with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, Andy Dalton. What's my nightmares?
I think they converted another third down.
Or fourth.
It was always third down. It's third down for the Bengals. 3rd and 18. Just put AJ Green in single coverage, but whatever.
Oh, and 14, yeah, when the Saints haven't lost a home game in such and such time, and they just lost like 4 of them in a row.
Of them, including the Ravens, yes.
Yeah.
On Monday Night
But
Football.
like the Ravens one was the last one. I'm like, oh no, this isn't going to work if, they're going to regress to whatever they've been doing at some point. But it didn't work out. Justin Forsett had his career year.
Yeah.
Falcons -3 at the Jets. I hate both of these teams. I mean, they're on my list.
Butch Jones' list of shame?
No, just on the list of teams that I hate. They're down at the bottom, but they're on there. Because the Jets are all hat and no cattle all the time.
When do they ever hat either?
They talk a lot. Right? We hear a lot about them and from them, but they never win anything. This dates back to like 2010.
Is it when Rex Ryan was coaching them?
Yes.
Yeah, at that point they were all hat and no cattle, but
Anyway,
right now they ain't nothing.
They're part of the worst division in football, according to Alex Smith.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
Rex
exactly
Ryan
right.
over there, like,
I don't really understand what Alex Smith was trying to say there, but
I don't know either.
I don't understand what Rex Ryan was trying to say, right? Like, Your teams were bad.
Well-
you got fired,
Well,
bro.
I think that Rex Ryan understood that and was like playing. it
Well,
up
and
a little
I'll
bit.
give Rex a little bit of credit too. I mean, he had the Jets in the AFC Championship game twice in that stretch.
with the Sanchez.
Yes, the Sanchez won 4 playoff games on the road
He did.
in 2 years. Most quarterbacks.
Patrick
And
Mahomes hadn't done that.
It sure wasn't because of Mark Sanchez.
Well, he also balled though a little bit. Like he
did.
threw some dimes.
Yeah.
Like he played the best games of his life in those 4
I still
games.
give more of the credit to Rex Ryan.
Well, the defense was fantastic,
Yeah.
but like Mark Sanchez came to play.
anyway,
Yes. Anyway,
This isn't that hard.
is it?
It's really not. Don't make the same mistake you made last weekend. Please don't. Just don't do it.
I guess give me the Falcons.
Yeah, there
With little
Sound like
confidence.
that might need to be bleeped.
No, that's how people say it in Atlanta.
No, it sounds a little okay. Well, Corey's lone woofing on the Jets, which
I am.
I think is insane. But you can go right
The
ahead.
Jets have the worst offense in the NFL, but their defense is pretty good.
So
And the Falcons are bad on both sides of the ball. They have no continuity on offense with them going back and forth between Heineke and Ritter. Ritter looks awful. Bijan Robinson is finally playing well, but the Jets defense is really good. And the Jets defense, like they're one of their strength is everywhere on the defense. It doesn't matter whether they're covering the pass or covering the run, rushing the quarterback. Their defense is really, really good.
All
it's
three
a top
levels,
3
yeah.
unit.
the Jets defense gets tired because they're always on the field, though. We saw
Yeah,
the same
but now
thing
they
against
get to
the
play
Dolphins.
against a really bad Falcons defense where the Jets offense might at least get a few first downs on each drive.
No way.
They have Tim Boyle,
Tim Boyle.
right? Isn't he their quarterback?
Yeah, he wasn't. He was a bad college quarterback.
I'd never heard of him.
I'm taking the Jets.
Okay.
I think these teams are similarly bad, and the fact that the Falcons are getting the home team treatment here is ridiculous.
I don't think they're similarly bad. I think the Jets are demonstrably worse. But
I would never take the Falcons -9 at home in this game. No way. Kidding me?
I mean,
maybe the Jets will throw another pick six on a Hail Mary. That'd be fun. It's so good.
We waited for decades for that to happen.
I've
It's
been
not gonna
waiting
happen
for it.
2 weeks
we
in a
were
row.
waiting for a roller coaster when that happened.
Yes.
The one warm spot in the whole
And he
park.
got one. It was
Yeah.
quite a roller
It
coaster.
was fantastic.
Tua throws 2 picks in a minute, and then they get a pick 6
On a Hail Mary, yeah. Candy Monium was pretty good that day too.
That's true. Cardinals at Steelers. Steelers -5.5. Steelers. The Cardinals are they have Kyler back though. Still Steelers on the road. 1:00. Pittsburgh plays well at home sometimes. So I'll take them.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I shouldn't buy into one data point, but the Matt Canada firing,
right.
suddenly the Steelers offense looked competent.
Yeah.
And
Got
no
400
Kenny
yards
Pickett-
for the first time in
Kenny
like 3
Pickett did
years.
not get outplayed by Jake Browning, Corey, even though it wasn't actually Corey. But yeah, I'm kind of riding that a little bit. Plus the fact that the Cardinals are awful. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Steelers to cover this line, even though it's in the Vegas zone.
Eric basically took the words out of my mouth. I really don't want to hedge everything on one game, but man, this offense looked completely different without Matt Canada running the show.
They got yards and
Pat
threw the
Fryar-
ball
Pat-
down the
Pat
field.
Fryar,
Imagine that.
who has had some good games in his
Your
career,
boy.
had his best game of his career. Part of me is hoping that the Packers sit Aaron Jones again this week, so that I can justify putting Pat Fryermuth as a second tight end in my lineup.
It sounds like you're
against Eric,
justifying it now.
because I don't want to miss out on another big game for him, which could happen.
What if
against
the
Cardinals
Muth is
defense.
loose?
So you're
I'm
hoping.
I might set the Muth again.
So you're hoping that one of your best players is still hurt, so that you can get cute with your fantasy lineup and put 2 tight ends
because
out there.
Aaron Jones is not.
Imagine
One,
the guy
he's
had
had
one good game.
double-digit game since then.
DJ Moore or somebody.
It sounds like Brandon Staley logic there. It's like, come on, set me up so I can do something hilarious. Just,
Well, no, because it's the situation where
fourth
I
and one from the
know
19-yard
that
line.
if Aaron Jones is active, I have to start him, but he's gonna have another disappointing game because that's all he's done all season. Is every time that he's active, and I know I have to put him in there, he ends up disappointing me.
but he's your boy. You love Aaron
But he's
Jones.
my boy.
but,
I
you
love
know,
Aaron Jones. Ever since Evan inexplicably dropped him
by accident.
by accident,
That's not inexplicable. That's the explanation. It was
Thinking
an
that he
accident.
was dropping Jamal Williams, he dropped Aaron Jones, and then didn't say anything. So I ended up getting him off of waivers, and I've loved him ever since. He went off for like 40-something points the next week for me.
did.
It was awesome.
He's your boy. You love Aaron Jones.
So I can't bench him if he's active,
Sure you can.
but he's not going to
Bench
do
him.
anything.
It takes a second to
So I
bench
need
him.
for him to be inactive so that I can bench him, so I can start Pat Fryermuth, because I can't start Pat Fryermuth over George Kittle either.
Sure you can.
Pat Fryermuth won.
Even though if I had done that last week, I would be 5-6 or 6-6 instead of 5-7. I'd still be in the playoff race. Now I've got a 3% chance.
I mean,
of the playoffs.
there's no woe is me when it's self-inflicted, right?
I will
Start
say-
wherever you
Is
want.
anything fantasy self-inflicted? I
Yes.
don't know.
You're setting the lineup, aren't
We
you?
are
Colts
all on the
and
Steelers.
Titans.
Shout out to Pat Fryermuth. He had like 3 points in the championship game for me, and that was just enough to edge me out and give me a title in the other league. So
Nice.
No.
no, in the other league.
Last week or last
No,
year.
2 years ago.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I needed like 2 points, and he waited until like the second half to catch his second pass. Like his
By
first
the
pass,
way,
he lost like
screw
5
TJ
yards.
Hawkinson, who did nothing in the first half, had me feeling good about my game against Alex Kincaid.
Why would you feel good? He only needed like 3 points.
No. But I was feeling like hopeful. I was like, okay, Josh Dobbs is like having a bad game. That
was
he
your
won't
first
find
mistake.
him.
Yeah.
And then
I
he
needed
finds him late in the
37
game.
from Josh
Eric
Dobbs.
was like, oh, Corey's done. I'm like, well, not yet, because I still get 1.5 points
I'm going to
back
add points to help me win. And then,
from Demario Douglas, because those fumbles happened on special teams, which means that we don't count them for the play. We
make
count
some
them for special
stuff
teams in
up
our-
to get like.
And then the very next play, he catches a touchdown. It's like, okay, well, that's it.
Yeah, you're definitely not winning that one. He's got 6 extra points.
Harry Potter, you get 60 points, 'cause, you know, for fun.
Because you're Harry Potter, and we're gonna throw Neville 10 because he tried to stop you from doing the thing I gave you points for. Make that make sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Colts minus 1.5 at the Titans. I've got Indy. Just
Not nearly enough points.
not
here.
going to think too hard about it.
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, just move on. Colts.
Dolphins minus 9.5
feel like
at
it's
the
the same
commodes.
I feel like it's
I
the same.
feel like FedEx Field should just be called the Commode, right? Like
That'd be good,
That
yeah.
that place is.
It's fitting for the quality of the stadium and the quality of the team.
yeah.
I went into once I saw it. This matchup was this week. I said, if it's double digits, I might think about it a little bit. If it's less than double digits, I'm pounding the Dolphins. So I
might think about it if it was triple digits, but double digits, Dolphins all the way.
What if it was 95 instead of 9.5?
Dolphins all the way.
Cumberland College style.
Yes.
The Dolphins already scored 70 on one team. Why not
Yeah.
95 on the Durs?
Yeah, they called the dogs off in that game. You know,
Yeah, that's
they
true.
they
They did.
went easy on them.
Yeah, Finns. Yeah, Dolphins. Move on.
Yeah, you think the Finns wouldn't try to score 100 while they're on Hard Knocks in season?
Why not?
Mike McDaniel, so he can steal somebody else's girlfriend and have Al Michaels talk about it like it's a great story. Oh my
was so
God.
cringy.
That was really
I
awkward.
was like, really?
that
That's
was
not a
not.
good- that's
that
not a
was
great story.
Not a flattering story. at
No,
all.
it's not at all. Kirk Herbstreit is like just looks so awkward sitting there. Like
Herbie needs to get out of
can't
that.
say
gig.
anything, but he knows that this is not the best.
Herbie
this is
needs
not
to
a good
just stick
story.
to college. He has
doesn't
no
have-
joy.
His heart isn't
There's
in
no
it.
joy for
it,
him.
It comes through on the TV. His heart's not in
He
it.
needs to
calling
be
the
there
NFL
with
game.
Fowler, sitting there calling the Iron Bowl or something like that. That's what he needs to be doing.
Yeah,
He doesn't have the love for the NFL game.
yeah.
Or Al Michaels' crusty ass.
Oh no!
He's telling that story.
Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen.
He's like, yeah, remember
I
that
bet
time
there's ladies
Mike
listening to this.
McDaniel stole somebody. He told his player, I'm going to fire you if you keep dancing with the chick because I want to dance with her. Like, that's appropriate.
Yeah, that's a huge abuse of power, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
How is
just
that
it's not a
okay?
flattering story. It
wasn't
makes
paying
Mike
attention.
McDaniel sound like a douchebag. And
Yeah.
it's just I didn't like it. I was like, why is this funny? Or why is this cute? This is none of those things. This is like, wow, Mike
like
sounds
this wasn't
like
like, oh, he sweet talked this girl, like,
No.
you know, like convinced her that he was the guy that she wanted to be with or anything like that. This was a straight up, I'm gonna cut you if you continue dancing with her because I want to dance with her. That's not okay.
That's very.
you kidding me?
That's really not great. Very sleazy.
Moving on to the last 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, Broncos at Texans.
This game. If you told me this was the line 5 weeks ago, I'd be like, "Are you serious?"
This was supposed to be a 4 o'clock game. They moved this up to 1 o'clock
Oh, jeez.
and replaced it with Panthers Bucks, which I don't understand why. This
I
would
thought
be
there
a
were
better.
4 o'clock games this week.
No, initially there were always going to be 3, but they swapped out the 4:05 games, and I don't understand why, because this is definitely the better game. The
Yeah.
Broncos have been playing pretty well lately, and the Texans have been playing. You know, they've been competitive all year.
Texans have the best quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Give me the Texans. I like the vibes.
The vibes are good. D'Amico Ryans.
Yes.
I like D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, he's been great. Yeah, Broncos have been playing better, but I feel like they've eked out a couple squeakers against some crummy teams. I don't consider the Texans a crummy team. I'm gonna roll with the Texans to cover the line.
Yeah, this is a really tough one for me, because as you guys said, and as I've said, the Broncos have been playing pretty well lately.
You also hate the Broncos.
I do not like the Broncos. I don't really care for Russell
Why?
Wilson.
Oh. But
'Cause it's
Peyton
corny.
Manning, you have a Broncos jersey.
Yeah, but it was for Peyton Manning.
Yeah, and he also had the.
And they also and the Broncos were a lot cooler at that
yeah.
point too. They had
They won
Demaryius
games.
Thomas, they had Eric Decker, they had Wes Welker for a while. They had effing Julius.
Yes.
Orange Julius.
They had fun
They
defense.
had Von Miller. They
Yeah.
had DeMarcus Ware was on that team.
They had Chubb.
They had those really Aqib Talib, who I
Yeah.
miss on the broadcast.
The aged remnant of Champ Bailey when he's
Yeah.
still there.
Not when they won the Super Bowl.
No, but that was a fun team. This Broncos team, this is not an interesting Broncos team.
Cortland Sutton sucks. I don't like him. He constantly fumbles the ball or drops it. It drives me crazy.
I think that the Broncos are probably going to end up covering the
Jared
spread.
Judy.
But this is a really close one, and I'd rather pick the team that I'm going to root for in the game. I'm rooting for the Texans, so I'm going to pick the Texans.
There you
Through
go.
all that to pick the Texans.
Yeah, I did.
Alrighty. Panthers at Buccaneers. Buccaneers favored by 5.5. The Panthers are the hottest of hot garbage.
Really bad. They just fired the coach.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to help. It doesn't matter, right? Your team stinks. All of you.
Seems like every time a coach gets fired, that even like a really bad team, especially a really bad team, they wind up somehow winning the next game.
No, Bucks roll. Come
Look
on.
at Jeff Saturday last year. He got the Colts a win. And everybody was like, see, it worked.
Yeah, you had Schefter and
Jeff
Boog.
Big Noon
God
Saturday.
damn it.
Yeah, just like yeah.
See, it worked. And then what happened?
And then he lost the rest of the games, and he was
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
And he beat the Raiders too. Like keep that in mind. He outcoached Josh McDaniels. What's he doing right now?
He ain't got no job.
Yeah, he got fired because he's a dumbass too.
Yeah.
So Evan, you picked the Bucks.
Yes. Emphatically.
Emphatically picking the Bucks. I feel bad for Baker because he's had some really nice games where, like against the Texans, he should have won that game. He scored a game-winning touchdown in the last minute of the game, and then C.J. Stroud did what C.J. Stroud does because he rules. And he almost led the comeback this last week, even though he got banged up against who they play, the Colts. I think they play the
Yes,
Colts?
it
Yeah,
was
they played
Indy.
the Colts.
Yeah,
It
like,
was
so
clumsy.
they it feels like the Bucks have had some some really tough losses. That there's a reason why they're 4-7. They're better than the Panthers by a pretty solid amount, in my opinion, and they're at home and they're playing for their playoff lives. The Panthers, they don't have a reason to tank because they ain't got no pick, but
No, they're tanking for the Bears.
yeah, it's in favor of the Bears, but that clearly hasn't helped them win. So I'm gonna take the Bucks too.
Yeah, we're all in the Bucks.
Alrighty, 425. Browns at Rams. Rams are favored by 3.5 points. I don't like that half. It's sticking out to me. It's
The
a
hook is
blinking
killing
red
you.
light. Yes, so give me Cleveland.
The Rams to me, like that is the team that I cannot figure out to save my life. Like I don't know what they are, what their deal is. Stafford is in the lineup, but he seems like he gets hurt every week. It's really hard to.
Cooper Kupp is in the lineup. It seems like
He gets hurt every week, yeah.
Kua hasn't really done. He hasn't been
Tutu
as special
Atwell,
since the
just like
early part of the season.
I don't know.
Tyler
I don't know.
Higbee is one of the most frustrating tight ends ever.
Ah,
'cause
gee,
he'll
I
have
don't know,
like
Al,
3 touchdown
you know.
games, 2 touchdown games, but the rest of the time he does nothing.
Here's a guy, just I'm gonna go with.
There's no doubt about it.
I'm gonna go with the Browns too because I think that Myles Garrett can.
I thought he got hurt too.
Is he hurt?
Thought he had a shoulder something or other.
He's out with the shoulder. It's
Yeah.
one of those things. And of course, he's out with a knee.
Uh,
I've got 2, so. Corey's currently
he
being
is
stabbed
determined to
away.
keep playing even though he apparently has structural damage in his left shoulder.
Okay, so he's gonna still destroy the
He
Rams'
worked off to
bad
the
offensive
side,
line.
not wearing a sling on his left arm, moved his arm,
He worked
unlike
on
after the
side.
Broncos game.
Okay, so he's fine. All right,
So
so he's
he
gonna
may
play.
be playing.
He's gonna be out there. All right, fine. So yeah, Browns.
What
also
I'm
gonna be
trying to
Browns
decide is how
Oh,
much
yeah.
does Kyron Williams move the needle? Because he definitely moves the needle significantly for the Rams.
Running back.
He adds a huge dimension to their offense that's been lacking for the majority of their season, ever since he went down. That said, the Browns' defense is really, really good. The Browns. Sorry.
That team's not playing.
The Browns outright beat the 49ers.
I
Did
know.
they, though?
I had that one. Well, I had them
The
covered.
Niners kicked to win. Corey's just choking on his pick because he hasn't said it yet.
Making us wait.
Who are you picking?
I'm going to stick with the Browns.
Oh,
So we're all on the Browns. Okay.
all right. 49ers are we sure the Niners are favored -2.5 at Philly? Is that accurate?
That is
I
accurate.
pulled the line.
Okay. Eagles all the way. I think Eagles should be favored.
I mean, I think the 49ers, I get why, why the nerds might say, because I feel like the 49ers at their peak have looked better than the Eagles this year because the Eagles haven't
DVOA
really-
has the 49ers well ahead of the Eagles.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too because the 49ers just have crushed people whereas Philly's kind of, they haven't really played a complete game.
So DVOA has the 49ers at number 2. Guess where they have the Eagles?
Like 10.
Almost 9.
Yeah, I figure they're probably.
They have the Eagles below the Jaguars.
Here's the thing. Philly, despite their lack of consistency game to game or even play to play, man, they always clutch up. Like they always seem to get it done, especially at home. I gotta take the points if I'm getting points at home. I know the 49ers have looked better overall, but dude, it's hard for me to see the 49ers going into Philly and getting a win, traveling west to east. That's a tall task, man. And we saw what happened last year. The Eagles, I know that Brock Purdy got hurt in that game. Well, he got hurt because the Eagles were living in the backfield. So, it feels like the Eagles they're going to play up to the competition in this game, I think. So, Philly.
I think it's a half a point too short. I'm going with the 49ers.
Should be a great game.
If it was at 3, I'd go Eagles.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I get it.
it's right on that edge.
Yeah, because
where
I
feel
firmly,
like
I firmly
go.
believe the 49ers have looked like the better team throughout most of the year. But
I literally think the 49ers are going to win this game by 3.
Oh, I said the 49ers were the best team in the NFL on this show, and then they lost like 3 or 4 games in a row.
that did happen. Yes.
So,
They were missing a lot of they were missing at least one key player every week during that stretch.
What's
I
to
mean,
say that
that's-
one of them won't get hurt this week.
I mean, that's football, though. Every team's missing somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 49ers are the only one that can't withstand it because they have a 7th rounder playing quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, I guess. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs -6 at the Packers. I got Kansas City. I don't want to watch this game. I'm going to bed early on this one. Chiefs roll.
Yeah, I got to get on a plane. So, I'm probably not going to stay up and watch this. This is tricky because, how much do you want to invest in the Packers just because they smoked the Lions on Thanksgiving?
A lot of teams have smoked the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but the context here is a little different. The Lions are actually good. I think the Packers' defense is pretty good. The Chiefs' offense has been sluggish at best, although they did kind of break out a little bit against the Raiders. But how much value do you put in that? 6 points on the road is a lot. Going to Lambeau, it's a lot. I don't care. I'm still picking the Chiefs.
It's a game I had to think quite a bit about as I was looking at it. And, Jordan Love has been playing a little bit better lately. The offense just seems to have a little something maybe going recently. The defense stepped up well last week. I think that they could maybe, be competitive in this game. But then I remembered one key thing that I think really completely flipped the script for me in deciding this game. And it wasn't fade the pack, as you might be thinking. This is an MVS revenge game, baby. Chiefs all the way.
Your boy Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Oh no. Okay.
Evan is just giving me like a death glare. Like what?
I am dumbfounded. Like this. Yeah.
That's all it took. MVS revenge game. There you
Okay.
go. Chiefs win by more than 6.
Monday Night Football, a game that looked much better in September.
Yeah.
Bengals at Jaguars, where the Jags are -8.5. I'm leaning Jags, right? My instinct is saying Jags, but considering how last week went, I'm going Bengals. I think 8.5 is just a few too many points. I don't think Jake Browning is him. I don't think he's as much of a bum as this line suggests. And Trevor Lawrence has turned into a pumpkin on occasion, so I'm going Bengals.
So hold on. I've got to ask this question. You said
it doesn't make any sense at all, so I can't.
You used something that happened last week as a justification for this pick?
Sure. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Did you see what the Jaguars did to the Texans last week?
They beat them.
By a lot.
They beat them by 3. The ball hit the crossbar. We watched it happen. Yeah. Yeah, Corey's staring shocked.
Yeah.
But yes, the Texans almost tied the game at the end of regulation. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's what happened. A little bit closer. They almost tied the game.
Slept off all of your NyQuil or whatever that you clearly aren't taking. 'Cause you should be better by now.
Oh,
I just got sick on Sunday.
Okay. You take your NyQuil.
I don't think I've ever been sick and it not lasted a week.
NyQuil
that
doesn't
sounds
make
like a
you
you
better.
problem.
NyQuil just
It just covers up the symptoms.
alleviates your symptoms for a little while. It doesn't make it. Doesn't cure
Unless you
your
breathe
cold.
for 2 hours.
Oh, so you've totally
you
not been coughing and
and
sneezing
then you have
for
to
the past
not
hour.
breathe for 2 more hours before
But
you
if
can
he
take
had
another
NyQuil
dose.
now, he'd be snoozing during the show.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to take Dayquil.
Yeah, I took Dayquil.
Yeah,
You got to
go.
take your day. Well, where's that at?
I took it right before the show started.
Oh,
It's wearing off, man.
Yeah, we've been going for almost 2 hours.
I got the
Last-
Bengals. Who are y'all picking?
Jaguars. Jake Browning is that bad. He got outplayed by Kenny Pickett.
No, you outplayed Kenny Pickett.
I know you said that, but you were wrong. Will was so offended by the prospect that Jake Browning could outplay Kenny Pickett, which I get because Jake Browning is a bum.
I will say that
UWs.
through the middle of the second quarter, it was looking a little bit like Browning might be outplaying Pickett. But after that, Pickett clearly was the better
then they
quarterback
played a
by
full 4
lot.
quarters, and we saw how it actually was. So there you go.
After all that, you don't know yet?
I don't like this.
Neither do I.
I think if the Bengals defense was decent, I would consider taking them here. But it's not. It's easily a bottom 10 defense in the league. Maybe bottom 5. It's a bad unit.
This is unusual because the Bengals defense the last couple of years has been sneaky good,
Yeah.
but not this year.
8.5 is so many points. But I'm gonna leave Evan on the lonely island. I'm gonna take the Jaguars. I'm gonna probably regret it. Either this or the
Jets. Didn't you pick them?
I did. That won't be a regret
It's
pick.
a solid mascot matchup, though. Bengals versus
Jets
Jaguars.
will not be a regret pick, but I would it'll either be this or the Chargers as my regret pick this week, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna leave Evan on the lonely island. So only 4 lone wolf games this week between us. 2 for Evan and 2 for me.
Great. Wonderful. Alrighty, so we're done. And I'm hungry, and it's $3 Whopper Wednesday. So, any shout outs for anybody before we get to the goodbyes and follows and everything? I want to shout out all the great people who work at Hershey Park for putting up with us fools in the freezing cold this time. The wheel heaters on Candymonium were fantastic. So shout out to all of you.
I will shout out the security officers at the Brooklyn Library who did a fantastic job handling some massive crowds who were there to see the Jay-Z exhibit this weekend.
Hove!
The Jay-Z exhibit will be there until I think this coming Monday is the last day to see it.
So it just started?
No,
and it's already
it started
It's like a
just sometime
pop-up.
during the summer. Yeah, they
It's like
put it up sometime
Brigadoon
during
or
the summer.
something? Just every once in a while it appears and then goes away.
Well, no, I think that they put
Sharptown
some different things in there, but
Firemen's
like
Carnival.
one of Jay-Z's organizations like paid to put this in, and it ends I think
Rockefeller
on his birthday, I think.
Okay.
But it was a really cool exhibit. Rashawn and I went to see it on Saturday in Brooklyn, so that was interesting.
Was it on the Jay-Z line of the subway? That's where he got the name from.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? You went to the Hove exhibit and you didn't know?
That's not where his name came from.
It absolutely
Yes, it
is.
I knew that.
Evan knew that.
And I rode on the subway for like 2 hours to get to the airport. It was an odyssey.
Yeah.
It was like buses. And
He explained
craziness.
in a video like that we saw during the exhibit where his name came from. It was not from the subway.
It was absolutely from the subway.
Yeah.
It was full stop.
Yeah, I was riding on the Jay-Z line,
Yeah, he
and that
knows.
went right through a neighborhood where a certain rapper is
Marcy Projects, where Jay-Z was from. So, yeah. He might have said that. He wasn't telling the truth. He definitely got that from the subway.
Anyway, shout out to the security officers who did a fantastic job handling the crowds because it was a long line when we got there. But they kept it moving. We got in fairly quickly, and I think there was another shout out that I wanted to give, and I don't remember what it was now. So I guess it wasn't all that important.
from. Oh, you're sitting too close to me.
I'll let you know
Can't
if I remember it.
Okay. Shout out for me is to me, because I saved our asses, meaning
Yes.
Evan and my asses today, was we were trying to procure Hollywood Nights tickets. Evan was snoozing because he thought that, you should open the link when it says tickets go on sale at 12. He thought you should open it
I
at
opened
12.
it at 11:55.
Because I told you to, but there was a queue line that had already built up, and I was in it. Evan was not, and so Evan was going to have to sit there and wait an extra, 15 minutes longer than me, and by the time Evan was able to get in there, the tickets were all gone. But your boy had already secured 3 tickets, so we're good.
Nice.
We're going to Hollywood Nights again. Mm-hmm. Can't wait. It's
Yes.
going to be awesome.
Good gravy.
Good gravy indeed. It's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
Oh yeah. The other one was shout out to Daniel Tosh, who started a podcast 2 weeks ago. He has 3 episodes out, and it's actually pretty interesting.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't important. I'm just kidding.
It's not.
Tosh is
but
cool. I like Tosh.
I've actually enjoyed it. It's like long form interviews with interesting non-famous people. So far, he has interviewed his wife's gynecologist, Blake Leeper, who is a Paralympian for the U.S. He had the world record for the 400 meters.
Is his name actually Leeper?
Yes, it actually is his last name, and he has no legs.
So it's not ironic.
Very ironic.
Oh, it is, but like it's
They
not intentionally.
They covered it like that topic within.
I feel like that's the only reason that Tosh had him on was because of his last name.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like
And then some woman who's like a wellness guru was the last one. It wasn't as good as the
wellness
first two, but it was
guru.
so
So she's a
interesting.
scam
But
artist.
it's cool because like it's like a legitimate interview, but there's a lot of comedy interspersed within it.
Well, yeah, because
Like at one point, as he's talking to
comedian.
Blake Leeper, and he like he's talking about how he's engaged, and he asks, "Are you actually gonna do it, or are you gonna drag your feet?" And Blake just started laughing. He enjoyed Tosh's puns.
well, you gotta have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Like come on.
Yeah.
You didn't get this far in life despite having no legs without having some fun with it.
He also judged Tosh as being slow. He was like, "I could definitely beat you in anything. Like name the time and place." So Tosh challenged him to a foot race, like 50 yards on the beach, and
How
Tosh
does-
beat him.
So does he have prosthetics to run with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's
okay.
like that.
But Tosh
Like
beat him
that guy
on
that
the
shot
That
side.
somebody.
shot his girlfriend. Yeah,
Yeah.
the South African.
That also
guy.
came up. And
Yeah.
by the way,
Yeah.
Oscar Pistorius just this past weekend, like a few days after he did that interview with Blake Leeper, and they talked about him, he got out of jail early.
Why did he get out of jail early?
He already got less time than he should have, and he got out of jail.
It's been like 5 years
5
or
minutes?
something.
Yeah.
And he got 13, which was
that's
shorter
it?
than
Already
it
a
should
little,
have been.
a little light given what he did. Yeah.
But yes,
Jeez.
Oscar Pistorius is literally like I'm talking to Rashawn about this, and I look up the TV, and all of a sudden, there it is. We're in the bar up in New York or in Connecticut, and there he is, out of jail. Like what?
Okay.
What timing?
Oh, shout out to my friend Jeremy, who's getting married in the summer next year.
You going?
Probably.
Oh, I thought you were done with
maybe.
weddings. What
I don't
happened
know.
to that? No more weddings for me.
I
For
mean-
last year and a half, no more weddings for me. After Corey's, that's it. I'm done. No more weddings
There's,
for me.
I mean, there's coaster credits up that way.
So you got to go out there for the creds?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. How else am I going to get to Great Escape and Storyland or something?
You just go.
Just go out there.
I mean,
Just like you do with every other park you've ever been to.
Yeah, we went to Holiday World. We're going to Holiday World again.
yeah. So
in the
that's
middle
for
of
Hollywood
nowhere.
Nights.
Yeah, it's out there in the boonies, dude. Like, come on. We had to drive back by Larry Bird's neighborhood to get out there.
Yeah. It is out
Like,
there.
he ain't from L.A. He's from French Lick. Like, come on.
What a name for a town.
Yeah, he's the hick from French Lick. That's
Yeah. Wait till you go to Intercourse, Pennsylvania, because that's a real place.
sweet. I think we need to end the show now.
Yeah.
Go to Butt, Montana. Except it's Butte.
Jake Butt.
Got horribly injured in a meaningless college football game.
Yes.
And it ruined his everything.
Thank you to everybody who's
Yeah,
still
let's
listening.
let's get out of here. I'm still hungry, like I said.
Whopper Wednesday, man. Come
It
on,
is
baby.
Whopper Wednesday. Follow Corey on Twitter at Corey Puffett. Follow Eric on Twitter at Quagmire67. Follow me on Twitter at Evan_Ash13. Follow the show on Twitter at SportsBallers18. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts. Let us know if we're not on your podcatcher of choice. And send us an email, thesportsballers@gmail.com. We did shout-outs already. Yeah, for Corey and Eric, I'm Evan. This has been the Sports Ballers Podcast. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Because
Hopefully.
yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
I'm not going to be here.
Oh.